welcome. My name is Steve Legacy, and welcome to Carolyn Wilson's virtual conference, Virtually You, brought to you by Magnifying Your Essence, and I'm excited. Why? Because the time is now. I want you to get your pen and your notebook ready. Take down these notes so you can help manifest your mind to the next level. And like I always say, own the day and beat you yesterday. Come on, let's get it.
What's up, everybody? Roger Williams here, and I'm so excited to be here at our 6th annual Celebrating You Women's Conference. Listen, I'm excited because we got a panel of speakers that's going to blow you away. You know, when Carolyn Wilson first came to me with this idea, I met her a few years back, maybe 2015, something like that, 2014. And this woman came to me and wanting to buy a book. I had a book stand set up, selling my books. I had just got my book out, published, and she came over to my table inquiring about the book. And let me tell you something, she talked to me about her vision, and it was just incredible. And just to see the growth that day up until now, it's been about 5 years now. And let me tell you something, the things that God's been pulling out of her has just been incredible. You know, she went from just a young lady I knew as Carolyn Wilson to now Carolyn Wilson, the film producer, Carolyn Wilson, the international motivational speaker, Carolyn Wilson, the best-selling author, Carolyn Wilson, the mentor, Carolyn Wilson, the coach, Carolyn Wilson, who's been featured on ABC, NBC, on Dr. Oz, and the list goes on. Listen, we have to stop doing something, and that's defining people by how we meet them, because you never know what God has put inside of them. And I'm so glad to be a part of this. I'm so glad to be connected to her in this way. And we're going to get started. We're going to get this thing started. We're not going to waste any time. I know you guys are excited about what's going to happen today with the speakers and what they're going to talk about. I want you to get a pen and a pad and sit back and just listen and get ready to learn and take notes from these powerful ladies who are coming up to speak to you today and speaking to your life in a way that you've never heard before. All right, so I'm going to get out your way, and I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to let this thing just take over. All right?
Boom! Yes! OMG! Did we just hear that? Yes, 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 and super uber duper. Yes. How y'all doing? What's going on, everybody? Hey! Listen, I am so duper excited to be here this evening. Listen, I'm trying to tell you, this is kind of like the conference that never ends. So, oh my gosh, thank you, Roger. Thank you, Steve. And we're going to hear from Steve again, right? Just in a few. But listen, Linda. If your name is Linda, I need you to listen. If you're not, your name is Linda right now. Oh my gosh, I am so excited to bring to you 5 dynamic speakers. When I tell you dynamic, OMG, like the word that they have for you, the message that they have for you is literally for you. You know, this is, we are in some interesting times, right? 2020 has definitely been the year of double, the double nothing, right? Double of something. So, at this point where we're at, we kind of have a norm-ish, if that makes any sense at this point. So we are past the point of not knowing, right? Because we know a little more than we did 6 months ago. Yet there's still some things unknown. So listen, I just want us to be prepared, to be equipped to when we come out of this, because we will come out of this. You know that, right? Y'all know that, right? To be equipped, to be, oh my God. So first of all, you got to believe in you. Yes. So if you didn't see the flyer ahead of time, let me just tell you who's coming up. You're going to hear from, let me tell you, Steve, the legacy starts. Oh my God, the art of believing in you. Yes, that's what you're going to hear from. Then you're going to follow up. Oh my gosh, then we're going to hear from Miss Yolanda Jennings, one of my ambassadors. Woo! Can we hear from my ambassadors? I see you backstage, OMG. I mean, because everybody is so uberly hype right now. So uberly hype right now. Bring it to the stage. Bring it to the stage. Hey, I see you, Bev Brooks, back there. What's going on, Bev? WBSC. Listen. Once again, your name is Linda. If you're not Linda, I'm just trying to tell you. So, oh my gosh. Hey, Bev, you want to come up here with me? We're going to tell everybody what we got going on? Here's my Bev Brooks from WBNC. What's going on, boo?
Nothing much. I'm just excited about this whole lineup. This is like real, like I'm just saying. It's for you. And what they got tonight is for them. That's all I'm saying.
And guess what? There's a little surprise I got for them, but I can't tell them yet.
And see, I don't even know. See,
I know you don't even know. You don't even know.
I wasn't even in the loop about that.
Super dope. Oh my gosh, it's like super dope. But listen, we got Steve the Legacy, the art of believing in you. Then we have coming up on the stage Yolanda Jennings talking about the power of volunteering. We'll wait till you hear from her. Then we got my other ambassador, whoop whoop, Jerry, all the way from an ATL. Yes, she's going to basically I know in this virtual environment, continuous learning. Right, while we're in this virtual environment, like, so there's no excuses any longer, right? OMG. Then we have my sister girl sipping tea with D. Yes, Miss Deidre Simmons. She's going to break it down. The power, not the power. It's still the power, right? She's going to break down how you can, live your dreams, follow your dreams in the midst of grief. Oh, I'm trying to tell you on that. And then we're going to round this thing up with a ray of sunshine all the way down from Florida. I can't wait. And guess what, y'all? It's her anniversary today. And she's blessing y'all with a message on her anniversary. Ain't that something? Yes. Oh, Miss Maggie Morrison. I'm trying to told you, you guys are in for a treat. That's all I'm going to say. So, Bev, I'm about to put you backstage. So we're about to bring man, I'm trying to tell you. Hey, beautiful. I see you back there, Deidre.
It's a whole exciting situation that you can't even get it together. So announce the person.
Because I'm so stinking excited.
Exactly.
I'm so excited about this. Y'all just don't understand. Matter of fact, Bev, I just gotta leave you up for a second. I mean, I'm just so super excited about this next dude right here. Yeah. Oh, no. Went too fast.
Okay.
Steve,
too fast.
The Legacy. I'm trying to told you. Yeah, Steve, you ready, boo? You ready?
Come on, Steve. Bring it.
Steve, come on, Steve. Steve. Let's hear it for Steve. Let's bring him to the stage. Let's clap it up. I don't know what just happened. Oh, wait a minute. He needs intro music, y'all. He needs intro music. This dude right here, when I tell you, he is a ball of fire. You are in for a miraculous treat.
How you doing, everybody? Clap it up once again. I'm so excited. Carolyn, you have outdone yourself like always, and I'm pumped up. Why? Because I'm actually number one. See, last time when you had me speaking, you had me at the end, I was all fired up, couldn't sit still. Now I'm sitting still, and I got all this dopamine running through my body, but I'm very excited for y'all to tune in tonight. I got my buddy back here. That's the dire wolf. Got to stay focused, got to stay hungry. But today I want to talk about the art of believing within you. See, I'm what I call a believability coach. I like motivation. I like inspiration. But sometimes after a while, when you get motivated, you got to keep on drinking it like you're drinking a Coca-Cola. I think the art of believability is important. Why? Because it's instilled and it's embodied with your why. Now, a little bit about me. Okay, so my name is Steve the Legacy. I've grown up in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I went to Roxborough High School, graduated from Cheney University. Clap it up for Cheney. And I graduated in 07 with a bachelor of science in marketing and business. And I'm excited because I met Carolyn Wilson last year because I invented a mobile photo booth called the Wanda Ring. And I don't know if you ever heard of it, but what it is, it's a miniature photo booth that you can carry around to any event, take pictures on demand, digital or printout. But it's funny how I met her. See, I had what I call it Brunello marketing skills because I wanted to market my device to every event in the city of Philadelphia last year. So the only way I was able to do that, I had to bone rush the flyers that was being posted amongst social media. So I was putting my logo on a flyer before I even got the gig. So I remember talking to Carolyn, and I was telling her that I was excited for our upcoming event. She was at the Sugar House Casino downtown, and I was pumped up because I said, you know what? I need to be a part of this organization. Now, Carolyn said, well, I don't have a budget for you, but I will tell you, I promise you this. If you connect with me, the window of opportunities is going to await you. And I took on that task. I took on that challenge. And, and it's funny how ever since that moment, being at the Sugar House Casino and her having her event, I realized how much of a fireball she was. And I was, attached to it. See, when you're a fireball within, you're attached to other fireballs. See, energy travels, you can't destroy energy. And you only can transfer the energy. So when I felt her energy, I said, oh, we're going to do some things. So we, did a couple of book signings, family reunions, birthday parties. The Wanda Ring was everywhere. And I'm excited because I told her, I said, recently, a couple of months, I said, Carol, I've been working on, for the last 2 years, the art of believability, mastering the art of just believing in yourself. And I wanted to start to share my message because I've been doing the research. Because it's funny, growing up, I had the skills playing basketball. I had the talent playing basketball, but I didn't work on the believing within me. See, that subject didn't exist. I didn't have that subject in the household. I didn't have that subject in school. I didn't have that subject around friends believing in me. See, I wanted to be amongst everybody in the group. I wanted to be a part of the group. I did not know that I was somebody like an outcast that had to stand out, but I had to first understand, and it took years to learn how to believe in me. Now, it's funny. See, a lot of times, most people, they get kind of confused about having, the belief system working through their dreams and their goals. See, a lot of people, they want people to believe in them first, but I found out the secret is, no, you got to believe in yourself first. Then once you believe in yourself, then people are going to begin to believe in you. It doesn't work the other way around. So you got to follow the laws of nature. See, I did not know that at first. I wanted people just to believe in me. Believe in me because I'm Steve Stotts. Who are you, Steve? You ain't God's gift to the world, but you have some gifts within you. But before, and this is what God was telling me, before it can manifest, you got to learn how to believe in yourself, knowing that the vision I gave to you, that you're going to carry it through. See, it reminds me of Joseph, when he had the dreams, and he was telling his brothers about his dreams, and they didn't believe him. But he saw fit to, follow through with the vision. And that's one thing I wanted to do growing up, but I was scared to do that. I was scared to stand out. And I want to encourage you that each and every day that I want you to stand out. What I say to myself every morning when I go to the bathroom, I have this silent seminar. And the silent seminar is, this is not the enemy. The only enemy that I will have in my life is the inner me. And your enemy could be doubt. Your enemy could be disbelief. It could be a whole lot of different things that will stop you from you getting to the next level. And you can't allow that to happen. Why? Because God has instilled something within you, and you got to take that to the next level. But a lot of times we are in our own way. And it's time for you today to get out your own way. If God gave you that vision, manifest that belief within you. Now, what I had to learn is that there's ways of discovering belief. Now, belief is an ability. And the great thing about abilities is that you can acquire abilities, right? People are not built and designed with from birth confidence and belief. They have to develop that. They have to go through an experience to let them know exactly what's going on. And I had to go through an experience. My mentor, God bless and God rest his soul, Jimmy, I call him Jimmy, but Jim Rohn talked about that if you want things to change, you got to be the change. See how simple that sounds, but how difficult it is, because a lot of times we want things to change, but we don't want to change ourselves. Now, stats prove and show that by the time you reach age 30, that you don't want to learn new habits. You don't want to change. You want to stay in your way. But if you want to have a different life structure, if you want to stop running the rat race and start to really control it in a way that you want to be, you got to take it by storm, and it's up to you. Not your mama, not your daddy, not your spouse, not your kids. Now, they can inspire you. They can motivate you, but you got to pack on a belief, because that's what really activates your why. Now, without having a why, there's no what and there's no how. You can start something with a what and with a how, but a lot of times people start those different things with the what and how. They tend to quit along the journey because they did not discover their why. And the why and your belief comes hand in hand. Here's a story I want to tell you about. Roger Bannister, the man that did the 4-minute mile. I love this story. Why? Because April 1954, he broke that record. Now, years prior, many people said that it is physically impossible to run a mile in 4 minutes. So people around the world believe it was a physical barrier, but not Roger. Roger saw it as a mental barrier. Once he overcame the mental barrier, he was able to break that record in 4 minutes. Now, the magic behind that was that after he broke that record, many more people broke the record after him. And you'll probably ask yourself, well, how is that possible? People said that it wasn't possible of doing it physically because they said the heart will explode at that speed and at that time frame. But when they found out that somebody can actually do it, that put them in the mindset of saying, I can believe I can do it myself too as well. And that right there was just a confirmation, knowing that it wasn't a physical barrier. It was a mental barrier. And you want to ask yourself tonight, what mental barriers that you have inside you that may be stopping you from your goals? What do you have that, that God has given you that you're really blocking it from the mental barrier? See, it's not a physical barrier. It's mental. All right. Don't believe me? Check this out. Everything you use on a daily basis, everything was once designed in the mindset of the mind, the thought process in the mind. It was first developed and first designed in the imagination, and it brought itself into reality. Now, you're using cars, you're using toothpastes, toothbrushes, clothes, everything. Everything that you use was once birthed in the mind. And one of my great mentors, Henry Ford, he had what he wanted was he wanted to do something different for us on the transportation field. So before, back in the day, there was horse-drawn carriages, right? And that was the way of life. That was the normal way of life. But remember, God has designed you to be extraordinary. So you got to stop thinking that you're normal, but you're extraordinary. I like that. Got to stop thinking that you're normal, but you're extraordinary. So what he wanted to do was create a horseless carriage. Now, a few of the people he mentioned that to, they thought he was a kook. They thought he was crazy. A horseless carriage? Man, I think Henry lost his mind. But no, he believed in that thing so much that he created the Model T car, which was once the best car in the world. Model Ts were flying off the shelves left and right. But just imagine this. Imagine if he did not believe in himself. I don't think to this day we'd probably be driving cars. We'd probably be still having the horse-drawn carriage. Don't believe on that? One other guy that I love by the name of Russell Conwell. Now, I want you to remember that name. So I discovered him. I discovered him about a year and a half ago, listening to one of my other mentors, Earl Nightingale. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but check him out. That's my man. I call him Pop Earl. But anyway, Pop Earl mentioned about this guy by the name of Russell Conwell. Normally I get my little daily motivational speeches from Nightingale and a couple other people. But he came across this one man, Russell Conwell. I said, well, who is he? So then Earl started talking about Russell Conwell. Russell Conwell, he was a lawyer, he was a minister, and he was a pastor of Grace Baptist Church in Philadelphia. Russell had a concept of creating a university. The reason why is because he was teaching people back in the day. He was teaching people, different nights of the week. and the actual congregation kept growing and growing and growing. So he was needing he needed new facilities, new places to go and build. So he came up with a concept. He wanted to found a university, Temple University. Check that out. Temple University was founded by Russell Conwell, and he used the money he made doing lectures around the country to fund and help bring forth what you see today, Temple University. See, that was a thought, that was a belief that he had. And what I love about it, he utilized this story called Acres of Diamonds. Now, he named it. Now, originally, he heard this story from a guy when he was abroad. He was on vacation, and he told him about this guy that he had, I guess, a fever of wanting to get rich, and he wanted to get rich with diamonds. So what he did was he had acres of land at first, right? So he sold all his land in search for diamonds. And the sad part was he sold his land, went on the quest for diamonds, never found the diamonds, and committed suicide. He drowned in the lake. Now, the guy who bought the land off the guy that sold the land, he stumbled across the acres one day, and he ran into this rock. Now, he did not understand what type of rock it was, so he took it home. Eventually, he got it checked out, and to his surprise, that rock was a diamond. And the midst of all the acres that he bought off that guy was flooded with diamonds. And Russell Conwell used that principle, that story, to really, I guess, bring home to us that knowing that you don't have to go out there and over there and across the mountains for your acres of diamonds. Your acres of diamonds is right there in front of you. You just got to look at it differently. See, most people have different views of how they look. Like, for example, this glass could be either half full or half empty. It's the way how you look at things. It's the perception. It's the belief. And Conwell used that lecture all over the country and was funded and paid to help bring forth what we see today as Temple University. And I want to really encourage you. I really want to, because the fact is, in life, you're going to come against some adversity, some challenges. I just want to let you know that you're on the right path. You're on the right track. See, society always like to show the stories of when they become successful. But it's up until you find out down the line when they're old and want to tell their story that you find out that in the early years, there were some struggles. For example, look at Henry Ford. He didn't make it big until he was 40. See, most people in their mind, they say to themselves, and they believe that if they're old or too old, they can't be successful. Look at Colonel Sanders making his break with KFC in his 70s. There's no excuse. The only limitation that you can have from this world is the limitations you put on your own self. So don't blame your mama. Don't blame your spouse. Don't blame anybody. Blame yourself, because God has equipped you. See, that's one thing what I loved about what God did. He had ordained and made sure that everything else runs itself by itself without us putting input into it. Like, for example, our body functions by itself. We're able to go and have a good night rest, knowing that our body is going to still function. We're going to still breathe and still wake up. The one thing he gave us dominion over, and the one thing we are really not really training in the way that we need to, is the mind and our thoughts. That's why in scripture it always talks about what you should shape your mind on, what you should think about. Fear was never the ideal thing to think about. But if you leave space enough in your mind with fear, it gets to that point where that's when it just drops off. So I want to encourage you to keep on pushing forward, to start to believe in yourself. And tonight is the night that could probably change your life. Thank you, and I'll see you soon.
Hey, Steve. Yes.
What's going on?
Oh my
What's going on?
gosh, thank you. That was so dope. That was so dope. Listen,
I ain't using my
behind
notes. It's crazy. Trying to use my
I
notes.
know, right? Wait a minute. Behind stage, right? I had Maggie's watching on YouTube. She's going to join us later. She was like, Steve's crushing it. Steve's crushing it. Yes. We're going to bring up Bev Brooks. Let's recap this thing. Hold up. We're going to recap the thing. Bam. hear you.
Okay, there I go. Y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me now?
You got so excited.
All right, I got really excited. I hit a button. Oh. No, because what Steve put out there, he came straight out the gate. He was just on it. The whole believing in yourself, knowing that you are the person that you're supposed to believe in. You know, screw everybody else. Because if I don't believe in myself, then I forget everybody else. Right, what's the point?
You're right. You're right about that.
You're right. Man, I'm trying to told you that was. So once again, this is Miss Bev Brooks from WBNC. Yes, this my boo right here. So we got to make sure we, give her some props. So everyone say, hey, Bev. All right. What a way to start. Oh, see, Yolanda coming up next. Speaking of which, she's like, what a way to start. She's double dipping. She's watching on YouTube and she's sitting there. She's backstage. You ready, Miss Yolanda? We coming up. We get ready. Tell everybody about this volunteering. So Steve. Yo, let me tell you. That was so dope when you broke it down with the 4-minute mile. You know, I'm a track mom, man. I used to run track. So I was like, oh yeah, I know exactly where he's going with that one. So, breaking the barriers down and not believing in yourself, you have to be able to believe in you, know your what, know your why. I'm like, man, kickoff. What a kickoff. What a way to kick off this thing. How about it? Isn't that right, Bev?
Yes. I'm gonna get my little wonder wine going on. I just want one. I want him to follow me around. Yeah.
I got you. I
know, right? This is a wandering less event. So you need to be wandering in this, virtually. Now that you're done talking.
Look, I always come prepared. Oh,
okay, say cheese. All right, we're gonna have to do it at the end. We're gonna bring everybody back and we're gonna say cheese.
I got you.
All right. Well, that was none other than Steve Legacy. Oh my gosh, Steve the Legacy. The legacy. I mean, that's so dope, just that name altogether, the legacy. So listen, we're about to take a pause for the go. Okay, all right. I see you popping the collar, popping the legacy chain, popping that legacy chain. So listen, I am just so excited to bring this next person to the stage. I'm just trying to told you. If I didn't, I'm telling you now. But before we get into that, this is what I want to share with you. Because how many of y'all like ready, want to lose some weight? Y'all trying to lose some weight? Like, I know, yeah, probably. If not, you really do. If not, you want to be part of this group. I'm just trying to tell you, it's my Fierce and Fearless Weight Loss Challenge. Join us here on YouTube. Come back to YouTube live at 8:30. Myself and Selena K from WBNC 91.3. Once again, boom. We will do on our kickoff for the next 7 days. I don't know why it's blurry, but okay, but you see it. So we're gonna come back for the next 7 days and get this thing started. We had people from all over the world who are on this group, and to empower you, to inspire you, to get you on your right track. So with that, OMG, this one right here, Miss Yolanda Jennings, one of my CYWC ambassadors. Yeah, she's going to coming to the stage, Miss Yolanda Jennings.
Hey, how y'all doing? So I'm so glad to be here. I'm just excited. I love Miss Carolyn Wilson. And part of what I'm going to be talking about today is the power of volunteering. I've been, and so just to tell you a preacher's kid, My mother and father were both preachers. I grew up, my grandfather was a pastor. So my desire to serve comes from my upbringing. And so what I want to talk about today is that a lot of times when people hear about volunteering about it, because they're not hearing that is awesome, is that God, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit nervous with the virtual. First of all, volunteering can your life, okay? And I'm gonna tell you, even right now, during COVID, it has definitely been a blessing to me. I have been, and I have not, and all that time alone myself was really, really getting to me. And so I was so thankful because through my volunteering in the past, an opportunity came open for me to end up being on the board of directors of a nonprofit. And so because of the volunteering, I've been so busy since I joined this organization. So first of all, I want to talk about that. Volunteering, first, it serves the community. It's so many people out here that's in need. I was one of those people at one time. Volunteer has to do with things that I've personally through and things that I've personally experienced, and seeing needs that I had, that somebody volunteered to be a blessing to me and to my family. And so we got so many people out here we have people out here who are to go back to that real quickly. What I do is domestic violence awareness. I'm a domestic violence awareness advocate, and I lost my sister and a cousin to domestic violence, and that has become my passion. And through that passion, it has caused me to want to volunteer to help other people. And so there are multiple ways that you can volunteer. So again, a lot of times people get all funny acting because they're not getting paid. But let me tell you that volunteering that's priceless. You can't put a price tag on that. And there are so many benefits that you reap, not only that you help somebody else. There are personal benefits that you reap through volunteering. Some of those things are networking. Okay. The reason why I'm doing this video right now is because I met Carolyn Wilson through Rick Watson. And he had asked me to volunteer to be a presenter at one of his functions. And that's where I met Carolyn. And that was several years ago. But last year or a year before last, I was going through a period of my life where I'd always been a loner, always to myself, and out of that. I was tired of being a loner. I was tired of doing everything by myself. And I wanted to be connected to women with like minds like myself, who love people and wanted to serve and who were uplifting. And so I prayed about it, and God allowed me and sent me to Carolyn. and I became an ambassador. Through being an ambassador and volunteering, I have made so many contacts with so many people. Doors of opportunities have opened up because of volunteering. It's a great way to network. Another thing about volunteering, it's a great way to gain new skills and enhance current skills. So I personally do not, I don't, but I am a self learner. I am a self teacher. So I like to learn all kinds of things. And so one of the things that I've always been intrigued with anything that has to do with the computer, and something I love social media. Okay, because even being a loner, social media allowed me to be able to connect with people virtually, and so that thing, and through that, I began to manage different pages for different people, for a church. Recently, prior to volunteering with Purple House Project, I was with the organization called Highsville Haven. And so through these different things, this has allowed me to sharpen my skills. And I learned that I could do things that I didn't even know that I had the capability of doing. And a lot of times, that's what happens if you're looking for a job and you're trying to get training in a certain field. Volunteering can get you in the door and allow you to build those skills, build leadership skills, teach you how to manage projects, teach you how to fundraise. You can learn all these skills through volunteering. The thing that volunteering does, it's good for your health. Now, let me tell you, I'm going to be real honest. I had for years suffered from depression. And one of the reasons, again, that I started volunteering is because I knew that if I helped somebody else, that would help take all that depressive stuff that I had on my mind and take the focus off of me and put the focus on somebody else. And the more that you give of yourself, you don't have to have a lot of money. I don't have a lot of money to give, but I have my time, my passion. I have my love for people. I have my empathy and compassion. All these things are excellent things to have when you are looking to volunteer. And so volunteering will help you mentally because it makes you happy to be around people and doing good things for people. It's good for studies show that it's good for your blood pressure. And a lot of our older people do a lot of volunteering because that allows them to keep busy, to keep active in the community. And so that's a great thing about volunteering. One of the things that I also want to share is that there are other ways to volunteer. You don't just have to volunteer in a soup kitchen. You don't just have to volunteer at your church. There are various ways that you can volunteer. Some of the ways that I have volunteered and gained experience connecting with people and meeting new people is I volunteered for an organization that was a travel organization. I wanted to travel, but I didn't have the funds to travel. So I started Googling things. I found an organization called, it was Eastern Light Getaways at that time. And they do weekend trips. And so I decided to volunteer with them. And so by volunteering with them, only thing I was doing was making sure that people would be able to get on the buses and go where they need to go and that everybody was on the bus. And through that, I was able to benefit from a whole free trip. Okay. And on these free trips, I have met tons of people and made great new friendships and all kinds of things. So there are organizations, a lot of times people say, well, I don't know where to volunteer. Okay. I don't know where my skills or my skill set would be beneficial. Well, there are multiple, I'm going to give you 4 different ways that you can find ways to volunteer. One is through Philadelphia. Philadelphia has Philadelphian. I'm one of the people who I volunteer with the city for different events. And there are all kinds of events that they need people for, and they list those type of things. There's trainings that you can go through the city, and that's called Serve Philadelphia, and you can find that on philly.gov. There's also volunteermatch.org. You could go on there and put in your skills, what you're looking for, what you're good at, and they'll match you with different organizations who may be able to use your skills. There's also idealist.org and allforgood.org. All these different sites you can go on and find different opportunities to help you be able to use your skills to be able to help somebody else. And that's what it's all about. It's all about us being in service to others. And that being in service to others builds you as a leader. If you want to expand yourself, a lot of these jobs are looking for people who volunteer. They want to know that you are involved in the community. A lot of the kids are, that's a main requirement when kids are applying to colleges. And so there are internships that people can participate in. There are so many ways to volunteer, and it is one of the most rewarding experiences that you will ever have. I just want you to encourage you that it doesn't matter you have a college degree, whether you do training, anybody can volunteer. Okay. I really enjoy one of my favorite quotes is from Dr. Martin Luther King. And he said that everybody can be great because everybody can serve. And so I hope that I shared something with you, and I hope that you'll go out and serve. And a lot of you that are sitting at home during COVID, there are opportunities that you can serve. Just look it up, Google it. And I'm you just while you're sitting at home bored, because everybody don't have family that they are taking care of at home or whatever. And so rather than sitting at home and binge watching shows all day long, find an organization that can use your skills that you can be a benefit to. Thank you.
Hey, Yolanda. What's good job, Yolanda? What's going on? Yes, I'm so that man, you broke it down. Like you couldn't have broke it down any clearer. You couldn't have broke it down. What was someone had a comment for you too. So let me see. Who was Bev? Do you know who okay. Bring Bev on the stage. Bev.
Yes.
There was a comment, it looks like, from Denise. Denise Henry says so true. She's been volunteering for years and she can attest to this. So you have some folks out there that really can attest to what you're saying. Now you mentioned two different websites that people can look towards And I think one of them was for good.org. And what was the other one?
There's Phila.gov for Serve Philadelphia. There's volunteermatch.org, idealist.org, and allforgood.org.
Oh, all for good. I just put for good.
Yeah, all for good.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yes.
Oh my God, Bev, you wanted to say anything about what we heard? It was kind of dope.
It was really good, and it was informative for the simple fact that some people, they do just think that, okay, I just volunteer at church, I'll volunteer at the soup kitchens, I'll volunteer at the old folks home. So they think about things like that, not thinking that businesses where you can pick up new skills and things that you want to do, things that can enhance what you're trying to do later on, or just having that time to want to get to know people, and you like being around people. So you like, okay, I'm retired from work, I don't feel like doing 9 to 5 no more. Let's just volunteer somewhere. I can pick up a new skill. I can just go and volunteer. Like at our radio station, we accept volunteers. Okay. And that's people who want to know about how radio works, how to run a board. And it may not be necessarily about radio itself, wanting to have a station, but about wanting to be a producer, just getting to know the ear of music. You love music, so you want to get to know the ins and outs of what you may and may cannot do in it. So, just for that aspect of it, and just letting people know, because a lot of people don't know their volunteer is much more than just a soup kitchen.
Yes. There's so many different ways to do it.
Absolutely. And you basically broke it down for us. And we know you are the queen of volunteer. You are the queen of volunteer. But you know what? That's literally how I got my start with everything too. And it's lifelong, right? It's a saying that I have. Yeah, it does. It really fuels you. It's a saying that I kind of stole from the Qs. That's the Omega, whatever, for people who are in Greek fraternities. But I kind of took one of their slogan and I turned it to make it work for me. And it says, the give back is essential to my soul.
Yes.
So Deidre, you know that. Oh, I see Deidre backstage getting practice, and I see you back there, Bill. She back there practicing. I see her. But yes, it's definitely essential to my soul. It's essential to your soul, and you're so right. When you do volunteer, it's so rewarding. It's so rewarding. And we have Mary Kennedy. She's jumping up on here. She's like, yes. She said, show up to give of self and resources in the lives of others. Give it and it shall be given, especially if this is not yours to begin with, to keep it to yourself. Whoa, did she just break down a mouthful?
Yes.
Woo. Yes. And that's a plug to Selena K. That's WBNC. She's gonna be joining us tomorrow where I kick off. That's a plug for Selena. Hey, Bill. All right. So listen, thank you so much. We about to bring up to the stage. Yes, let's get a hand clap. I need to have a board so I can have hand claps. For Yolanda. Yes. So thanks, Bev. About to send backstage. And Yolanda, thank you again. Thank you. About to send you backstage too now. So listen, you guys. Oh my gosh. Were you blessed? I mean, she just dropped some serious nougats, not just nuggets, nougats. He dropped some serious ones. I'm just trying to hold you. So you listen, we always got to have a break, pause for the cause. And so our pause for this cause is actually going to come from one of our business spotlights, and our business spotlights comes all the way from Delaware. This one is the queen of TikTok. If you need a home, basically, and if this thing within your dreams, then you try the Dreams by Games team. Contact Nicole at 302-753-0764 or Dwayne at 302-753-0491. And next on the schedule, oh my goodness, are you ready to rumble? Let's hear it for, I see you back there, Jerry. Okay. Listen, I want to bring to the stage Miss Jerry Savage Aldridge, all the way from the ATL. She's going to show us how continuous learning in this virtual environment. Take the stage. It's all you.
Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to bring this message to you. If you're like me and you had to make a mindset change, you had to be in the house. You are no longer able to go out and do the things that you're used to doing. Oh my, I had to think about that. Oh, it really set me back for a minute. But in this climate of virtual learning, you have to have a certain mindset. And with that mindset, you have to have a growth mindset. Can I see that second slide?
In 2 seconds.
Okay, all right. So the first thing I want to talk about while Carolyn's getting that slide together is, let's define what is a virtual learning environment. And I think yes, okay, continuous learning in a virtual environment. Let's see that second slide. What is it? Virtual learning embraces a much broader dimension than simply online learning. It is a learning that connects you with others. I mean, you can meet people all over the world. You're not just confined to your city or your state. You can, using the internet, you can gain skills from others who are in different parts of the world. I find that very, very fascinating. But in order to do that, we're going to go back to the growth mindset. Second slide. With the growth mindset, you have to ask yourself, am I eager to learn something new? Or do I resist new information or new ways of learning? Am I easy to teach? The growth mindset person is more likely to succeed. They're usually very focused. They have few distractions. I have a growth mindset, and so therefore I am an overachiever. I very rarely let others define my success. I make that decision. You have to get to a point in your life where you're self-motivated. You don't have to rely on others to constantly push you. And a fixed mindset, you're not open to learning new ways of learning. So therefore, the virtual learning would be scary for you. You would be like, oh, I can't do that. Yes, you can. Next slide. I'm going to give you 3 quick tips, and I'll just give you a little something for each one. I have in the first tip that I have is like, you create a morning ritual. You can get up, you can meditate, you can go to a yoga class, do some exercise, or just write in your journal. Just say that, you can give gratitude uh, to the day. You can just visualize what your next day is going to be. You eat a healthy breakfast. And like I said, you can also write affirmations. The second thing, take charge of your thoughts and focus. You have to be the CEO of your life. Can I repeat that? You have to be the CEO of your life, not your circumstances, not your friends. And then third, I want you to learn how to practice presence. So live in the moment. Don't start thinking about what happened in the past. Think about the future. Live in the now. Conquer each task one at a time. You set your goals. You don't have to set long-term goals. You set short-term goals. And when you make that short-term goal, that's going to give you the confidence to go on to the next goal. And on this slide, there's a link. And that link is one that interview that I saw, and the lady was talking about the mindset. So that's where I got that from. At the bottom, you'll see the reference for that. Dennis and Angela Butner. And actually, to show you how a positive mindset works, I actually called her today. This couple, they travel all over the world. They have even been with TED Talks. They have like several, I think they have like 40, 50 different clients that they speak to. They're motivational speakers. I had no idea, they're located here in Georgia. I had no idea that she would call me back. She actually called me back. Talked to me. I told her what I was going to do today. And she said, definitely use my references, and you can give them my number. And she also sent me the link to the interview. So that is on that page that I just showed you. Very, very excited to have connected with her. After I told her that I was also a breast cancer survivor, she told me that I qualified to have unlimited online virtual training with her and her husband. I could not believe it. So she right away, she sent me an email with the link, and she's going to send me the class list, and all I have to do is sign up. So I have connected with someone that I'll probably know, hopefully for the rest of my life. So to piggyback off of what Yolanda said, it's always great to volunteer, because you never know where it's going to take you. So the next slide, I'm going to talk about, now these are my tips for being when you're in a pandemic. So how do I learn a new skill? And so, great news. With virtual learning, you can use your smartphone, your tablet, or your computer. It's that simple. And I want you to create a space where you can learn and grow. Third, you need to find a mentor who has achieved the goal that you're looking to accomplish, or someone who has the skill set that you want to learn. You can do that through LinkedIn, Facebook, through church members, friends, or family. You can ask them, do they know someone that can knit? Or do you know someone that's a good speaker? It's always helpful to have a mentor. The next thing is research that skill. Get in there. Get in there and learn what you're interested in. Don't just sit back and say, oh, I would love to one day, I would love to be a swimming coach. Well, research it. Find out what you need to do in order to be a coach. Next thing is look for online training or volunteer opportunities. That was in my thought pattern before I even heard Yolanda speak on it, is to always look for volunteer opportunities. Okay, next slide. I have listed some opportunities that you can use, and these are very good. We're going to go over, because at the end, I'm going to actually have you get on your phone and we're going to look at registering for a free class. And this is a class at Harvard Business School, and it's online. The first thing is there is a group called Edge Unity, and that's for anyone who wants to establish a virtual program or to take any of their classes. It's called Edge Unity, EDGENUITY. Very good source, because once you get experience with virtual learning, you may want to set up your own class and start teaching online. You'll gain the confidence. Don't worry. You'll gain the confidence to do it. The next one is www.hensleyfraser.com training. That's a virtual learning and training. You can choose from their topics. They have a library of topics, or you can create your own experience. Found that very, very interesting. The next one, and this is for these moms that say they don't have money to go back to school. Yes, you can. Go to www.scholarshipsformoms.net. They have $10,000 for moms, and you can use that money towards online learning. You don't have to, it's not just for the regular classroom. You can use that for online learning. And I think the deadline for that is October 15th. So get on that right away. The next one is called reliefbenefits.com. That's for low-income residents. And they match you with resources that you can use for training. And then there are always government grants and federal assistance for anyone experiencing hardship. And they are offering money, counseling, whatever you need. So there's no excuse to not learn what you have been wanting to learn maybe all your life. And you thought that the obstacle would be that you couldn't do it. You didn't have the money or the resources. I've just given you several good resources. So at this point, I want you to just close your eyes and just imagine yourself doing something that you feel passionate about, a skill that you want to learn, something you want to share with others. And I just want you to put it in your mind that, yes, I can learn. I can learn. I want to be a lifelong learner. Speak those words. Speak it. Feel it. Imagine it. You are a lifelong learner. Now, the last slide. Always remember, it's never too late to learn. Never too late to learn. Reach out to me on Facebook, LinkedIn, IG, Twitter, or email. Hopefully, I can be of help to you in any way that I can. I hope you go to the sites that I had given you. And lastly, we're going to get your cell phones out, and I want you to go to hbs.edu. hbs.edu. Go down to academic programs, and then go to online. This is where you'll find your online certificate courses. We are going to Harvard. We're going to get a Harvard certificate. Click on. And scroll down to become a resilient leader in turbulent times. This is a free leadership lesson. Did you hear me? A free leadership lesson. Go down and click on Access Free Lesson. And then you scroll down, it says Start Learning Now. And you now have access to a 30-minute free lesson from Harvard University. I hope I've given you some good tips, and I hope I've made you excited about being a lifelong learner and also having a growth mindset. Thank you.
Woo!
Don't be catching nobody off guard like that. I was writing some stuff down. I was doing what she said to do. You caught me off guard. I'm trying to register for a Harvard class. You know.
I know. What was that link again? Because that was real.
Okay, it's HSB hbs.edu.
HBS dot.
edu.
Is that
Okay.
H is in Harry, B is in ball, S is in Sam?
Yes, yeah, Harvard Business School.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a free leadership lesson. I was so excited when I saw that.
Wow.
And of
Okay.
course, it's virtual.
Of course. Of course.
But
Of course.
I
Of
mean,
course. Of
yes.
course. So you had quite a few. I mean, Bev was actually signing up for the class, you know.
Great.
It
And
never hurts to have a lot of things under your belt. Hey, you're
I
not
hope
doing
more
nothing
people
wrong.
do. Yes.
Yeah, and let's say we got Asha came on and said thanks. She needed to hear that you're never too old to learn. So
That's right.
yes. She said thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then Mary Karma Savage said yes at Mary Kennedy. Yes, I need a copy of this PowerPoint. So yes, you guys, for those who registered, you will get a copy of it. So so let me see what did Mary. Okay, this is what Mary Kennedy, she said this: don't bound self by I can't even get that out. Manipulation of time, reality, gain control of self, emotions, master singleness, obtain a degree in you. Woo! A doctorate in you. How about that, Steve? A doctorate in you, believing in you. Ain't that right, Steve? Steve got his thumbs up. I see him backstage. Now that's mastering what you profess. Like, okay, Dr. Steve, the legacy, Dr. Legacy, right? I see him laughing back there. I see him laughing. Listen, Jerry, thank you so much for tying that in, giving us this nice little bow. And I don't know. I mean, what you think, Bev? What you think, Bev?
Well, I mean, first of all, you gotta have that mindset being virtual now, but it's not like we haven't been doing it.
Right, that's true.
So it's only the fact that you're minimized to a box now, which is your house, and now it seems like you're so closed in. Versus before, you was doing things virtually because you always was, and things like that. But now you wasn't confined. Then you can be anywhere and do it.
Right.
Exactly. So, but now being confined and and then having your children on a constant basis, and then trying to figure out how virtually we're gonna work with them, it ties in. You have to mentally, and your mindset has to be right for it. So yes, everything that you spoke about, everything that needs to be done, yes, I agree 100%.
Okay.
Lisa Finney says, thanks, ladies. You all rock. And Yolanda back behind stage, she's saying great information. Jerry, yes, absolutely great information. And so, this just kind of ties into our next business spotlight. Before we get ready for Deidre, you ready, D?
Yes.
You ready, D? I see you. Oh, I just got big. Like, oh
no. Yes, Deidre, let's do it. Let's do it. Come on.
Let's do it.
Let's do this. Let's do this. She back there all fancy, huh? I see you. Oh, oh man. So Jerry, thank you so much. Thank you. Man, okay, so we all got our little, we all say we all say that we went to Harvard. Is that right, Bev? We went to Harvard. Yes, absolutely.
We went to Harvard.
Harvard.
Sip my tea, sip the little tea.
I got my piece of paper. That's all you wanted. I got my piece of paper and say Harvard on it.
Certificate.
I got my certificate.
I know that's right.
Oh, well, stay with us. We're gonna all come back. But we got next on the stage. We got coming up. Woo! I'm trying to told you once again. All right, see you, Bev. Signing off. All right, Jerry. Thanks once again. Thank you. We will see you back in a little bit. But I'm trying to told y'all, like, listen, you guys, Jerry was amazing. she is amazing. She is amazing. So some of the things we heard from Jerry and we also heard from Yolanda, you know, you can actually connect with this next spotlight, business spotlight, with Miss Felicia's Miss Felicia, okay, from the Philadelphia Women's Network. With Network and Connection, I'm trying to tell you, if you want to be with a group of women who are looking to do things in a nonprofit world, in a for-profit world, and you just want a like-minded organization that can meet virtually. And when we are able to open back up, as you can see, she has a core group of women that comes in all the time. I've been a speaker. Yolanda's a member. Jerry's a member. Hey, Bev, you need to be a member. Everybody needs to be a member of this Philadelphia Women's Network Connection. And you don't have to be from Philadelphia in order to connect. Yeah, so with that, let's give her some intro music here. This beautiful sister right here, she is going to break it down for us, Miss Deidre Simmons, Following Your Dream. In the midst of grief. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Get ready for the next voice you're going to hear.
Greetings. My name is Deirdre Simmons. I hail from the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection. I am a podcast host, a motivational speaker, a vocalist, a life enthusiast, a writer, as well as what some may call even a diva. Thank you. Carolyn, I just want to thank you for this opportunity to come and share a piece of my truth with everyone, with the hopes that someone is motivated, that they're encouraged and enlightened by a piece of my story. So I want to start off tonight by saying that my presentation is, as Carolyn stated, on following your dreams in the midst of grief. So in 2013, I experienced the most profound and deepest tragedy in my life, in which my mother, who was a spiritual woman, a light, a motivator to so many people, was suddenly diagnosed with uterine cancer and gone within 13 months. At the time, I couldn't possibly even think about what the future would hold, what it would look like. I could barely even get through the day to day. So having gone through this tragedy and trying to understand what was going on, I honestly had to admit that I was afraid. I was afraid of being afraid. I was afraid of, what would happen to my mother. I was afraid of losing my mother. And I was afraid of what would happen, or if even after she was gone, would I be able to even go on? And once I lost her, I had to take a really deep look at a couple of things. One of those things in particular was I had to figure out what was next. What was next for me? What was I going to do? So the interesting thing is that in this deep turmoil of my life, which appeared at the time to be the most difficult and the worst time of my life, interesting enough became the most introspective part of my life, the most creative part of my life, in which I started to develop all of these ideas. I started, thinking about my purpose. What was I going to do with my life? How was I going to move forward? So as a vocalist, I auditioned for some singing competitions, some national singing competition shows. Suddenly I started writing. I wrote 3 treatments for a television show. I started looking at some plus size modeling and talked to agents. From there, I even, because I have a passion for showing women in a positive light and presenting our stories. I came up with a platform to highlight women and discuss their journeys, which led to my podcast, Sipping Tea with D. And if that wasn't enough, in an attempt to process the deepest part of my grief, I created a private Facebook group that was to encourage and support other people who had lost their mothers, called that's called A Mother's Love Never Dies. So this process did not come easy. It did not occur overnight. There were a few key things that helped me along the way. One of those things was connecting with my grief, understanding that that grief was a process. There's 7 stages of grief, and I was not going to experience all those stages immediately. I had to allow myself to sit in it and experience each one of those stages, to go through that process. And if that meant that I had to cry, that I had to scream, that I had to yell, whatever it was, that I had to sit in that grief. I had to go through that process. And I also had to understand that the process wasn't going to go away immediately. It wasn't going to happen overnight. I wasn't going to get through it overnight, but just understanding that this is what I'm feeling, connecting with it, understanding that these are the feelings that I'm going to have, and go through them, because I knew that at some point that I had to get through it, that I had to come out some way on the other side. There had to be something different. So connecting with my grief was really, really important. Once I started to connect with my grief and understand that, I was going to survive and I was going to get through it, then through that process, I had to look at a couple of other things. Like, one of the things that I found so interesting when I was at my mother's funeral was that I didn't feel like her daughter. I felt like a spectator. Listening to all the honors and declarations from people and how she had impacted others' lives. And I started to even think about my own life and what did that look like? Had I begun to even fulfill my purpose? Did I know what my purpose was? Did I understand what my purpose was? Did I know what I wanted to do? So as a result of that, I had to identify my purpose. I had to start looking at, how I could impact the lives of other people as well. So from that process, from looking at, what I needed to do, how I could be impactful, I had to also look at some other very key things. And one of those things was, where did I see myself? How did I see myself? What things made me happy? What things that I identify with? What things could I do to be more purposeful or to be more impactful? And I started to journal. But not just the regular journaling that I had been doing for many years, where I would record, sometimes my day-to-day or some special event or something that happened. But my journaling started to become more focused. I started looking at my journal and my experiences as a way to design and map out what it is that I wanted to do and how I wanted to go about it. So with the focus and the purposeful journaling, it helped me to identify key things about myself. And as a result of that, determining what it was that I wanted to do and looking at my purpose and looking at what made me happy, I started to key in and focus and create a path for myself. And this path and this sort of map from my journaling, my purposeful journaling, gave me some direction. And from that, all this creativity that I had been I knew that I had, but I wasn't necessarily focused on, started to develop, because in the midst of all of that, I knew that I could not stay in that place of grief. I could not stay there. I had to focus on something other than what was making me unhappy, and started focusing on what was going to make me happy, what was going to fulfill me, what was going to bring me joy, to kind of build up that empty space that I had felt in my heart, that heartbreak. So by mapping out what I needed to do, by looking at my experiences and identifying those things that helped to develop me as an individual, I started to make some plans. So I identified through my journaling and, my experiences. And like I said, I've always had that sense of creativity. Um, I knew that I wanted to be involved in some form of entertainment. I knew that I wanted to write. I love to talk, so I knew that I wanted to speak. So I knew that what I wanted to do had to involve talking. It had to involve being in front of people. It had to involve connecting with people. And those are the things that I found that has started to bring me some joy. Now, once I started to identify those things, as I said, and start to plan, then I needed to be more strategic and purposeful about how I was going to get to the next level. So when I decided how I saw myself and what I wanted to do, I started to look at how I could use that mapping in those directions and make things happen for myself. So I started reaching out to people in the field that I was interested in. I started networking. I started to be intentional about doing some research about the field. What do I need to do? Researching key people in the industry, seeking out, agents and managers, and doing like informational interviews, trying to understand what it is that I needed to do to be a part of that world. And then I started to, participate in events, going to events where I could talk to more people and network and, gain some insight into the requirements, even taking classes, signing up with agencies that would train you and teach you, where do you stand in front of the camera? Where's your mark? How do you speak? The look that you need to have, presenting myself, getting headshots done, talking to people in that industry, trying to gain some insight from them and just learning more and more about it. And as I did these things, the grief didn't necessarily go away, but I started to cry a little less, scream a little bit less, stop yelling a little bit less, and started focusing on what it is that I could do to build myself up, to create my dreams, even in the midst of that. And oftentimes I would think that, I could have done these things before. I always had the abilities to do them, the skill, but it took losing my mother and going through that tragedy, and watching her, someone again that was so vibrant and full of life, and suddenly be gone so quickly within 13 months. And it made me look at life differently. It made me look at life, see the preciousness in life. And we often say, life is a gift and life is precious. And it sounds like cliches, and it just sounds like, it's just something, that we say, but in essence, it really is true. And this particular situation brought me to a new understanding. So even though it was not the easiest thing to get through, even though it was the hardest thing for me to care for someone and watch them go through cancer and cancer treatments, all of those things, the beauty of it is that it opened up my eyes and it gave me insight, and it helped me to develop myself, and it helped me to see how time is not always on our side. And as a result of that, we have to be purposeful about what we do, and we have to be intentional about how we do it. So as a result of that, it made me fight harder, and it made me become more determined in achieving what it is that I always wanted to do, which was speak to people like I'm talking to you, which I do every week on my podcast, and interviewing interesting women and talking to them about their journeys, and giving people the opportunity to share their experiences and touch the lives of other people. And that has helped me as an individual, not just understanding my purpose, because when I set out to do these things, I wasn't trying to be successful, or I wasn't trying to grow to some brand or anything like that. I was just trying to find my purpose and get through feeling that I had no purpose at all. And having the time and the opportunity to do these things and go through these things allowed me to do that. Now, it required, again, a lot of work. I mean, I still, I still work on networking with others and learning more and more about, things that are going on in my industry to help develop me. But it has, out of all of that, I feel that I have been able to be a blessing to other people. Again, the point wasn't to be successful. It was just to have a sense of purpose and to help me navigate through the day to day. When I was focusing on developing myself, again, it kept me from crying less. It kept me from focusing on the emptiness that I felt. And it helped me to become more determined and to push forward every day and to create a life for myself where I had purpose, where I was able to impact people, and where I was able to create my own legacy. I remember once asking my mom during her treatments, or saying to her rather, that I wish that I could trade places with you, because I felt at that time that she was needed much more than I was. And she looked at me and she said that everyone has their own journey. Everyone has their own journey. And I'm going through this so that you won't have to. So I never thought that going through being a part of her journey and experiencing that grief would birth for me the opportunity to be a part of journeys of other people and other women like myself and people like you. So I hope that you have been again, motivated in some way, touched some way by a piece of my story. I welcome anyone who has lost their mother to, if you need some encouragement, to please look up my group, A Mother's Love Never Dies, on Facebook. We welcome you, share stories, experiences about your mom. It is a private group. Also, I'm featured every Wednesdays at 7, going live on Anchor. Please, for a Sippin' Tea with D. You can find it on any platform where you find your podcasts. But remember that we all have our own journey. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful evening.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Now, that right there. I got, because I want to ask her a question.
Go
With
on.
everything that you have said, you were able to do what you needed to do. You were able to motivate yourself to get where you needed to go.
Yeah.
Was there any other components Meaning outside people that actually
Well,
help you. Sometimes we get down
right.
and not want to get back up.
It definitely, I, of course, I would never say that it was an easy journey. And I definitely did have, I had the support of my family. I have 3 sisters. We even developed an organization to help, call Sandy's Girls Incorporated, where we support other families that are in need, especially those who are affected by cancer. Of course, there was my church. I'm a spiritual person, so I pray a lot. So I definitely had those components, but the thought of being in that space, and it was just interesting. Like I said, all this creativity, all these ideas were birthing themselves during that time, and I just kept writing things down, even though I didn't want to deal with them. And I was just able to, the more I focused on them, I started to find out that things started to feel a little lighter, you know. But I do encourage people, talk to your family, talk to a therapist. When the Mother's Love group, it came from literally from God. I was in church, and that was the first time I had attended after my mother had passed. And I was so overwhelmed because we used to worship together that I said, God, you have to give me somewhere to place this grief. You talk to people and sometimes they don't always understand because they haven't been through it. So I said, please help me. What can I do? I can't carry this around. And immediately, before I could even get to my car, he told me, create this group on Facebook. He gave me the name, A Mother's Love Never Dies. I didn't even make it home. I had a friend that lived near my church. I literally went to her house, grabbed her laptop, and created the group. So, it's all for encouragement, support. You just have to continue to fight through. And like I said, sitting there at that funeral and listening and thinking about my own life and, how, people were speaking of her and how she had impacted them, it became clear to me, you hear it all the time, but this is what we're here for. We're here and for the purpose of helping and serving other people. And I believe a sister spoke about that earlier when she talked about volunteering. It's all about that. And in the midst of that grief, it helped me to understand that and to help me clearly define what it was I was supposed to do. And it's making my dreams come true. Definitely.
Wow.
Awesome.
Wow.
Awesome.
And you had quite a few comments going on over here too. Denise Henry, love dreams become plans when you write them down.
Yes.
Because apparently Mary was, going back behind and repeating everything you were saying too. Lisa said a powerful signature story of this rediscovery of your amazing purpose. Wow, said your tragedy / mess. That is your purpose. Like that.
Exactly.
It's amazing how, it said, your what is it? Your testimony is a test, right?
Yeah.
Your mess is a message.
Yeah.
Your trial is a triumph, right?
Exactly.
So
and interestingly enough, these were things that my mother would often encourage me to do. I have a background in communications and journalism, and she would often push me, and I kind of got out of that realm. And it was just so interesting that during that time, these ideas and all those things that, enveloped that arena were coming to me. So I definitely feel that it was God driven. It was my purpose. For
wow.
Sure.
Yeah. And then we have So True. We all have our own journeys. And then you have, thank you for sharing your story, Deidre. Yes, we all have our own journey for sure. So, and then you have a resignated yes. Gotta add the yes in there because that's for the diva in you. Yes. So listen, I mean, like when we were talking about earlier, when it was about following your dreams, with the podcast, and then we had talked about this whole thing with grief. And remember, I said I had to call you. I said, wait a minute.
Yeah,
I said we gotta talk about this because that just sat in my spirit so loudly. You
Mhm.
know, I said, you have to figure out a way to intertwine it too. And you said it's easy because that's literally what it is.
Right.
And I'm like,
You know what? You gave me a little push though.
I did. Okay. All right.
Yes, because
That's what I do, right, Bev?
I often don't really discuss the grief part of the situation. And you gave me a push. And I even had mentioned to some friends, I said, you know, Carolyn is really challenging me because she's putting me in the place where I have to talk about it. So it must be time for me to speak on it in a different form. So I appreciate you, sister. I thank you.
I'm just following what I was told, what Daddy told me to do. So Daddy. Oh, and then Jerry says she wants to connect in your Facebook group too.
Oh,
so
definitely.
Yeah, we'll definitely type it and put it in the feed.
Yes.
So you can find. Wait a minute, matter of fact, because she lost her mom to liver cancer. So
wow.
Yeah. So definitely.
And please,
definitely.
Mother's love never dies, and I'll accept you immediately.
Okay, Yolanda, can you type that in the Facebook? Can you repeat that again, Deidre?
A mother's love never dies.
Okay, all right, we'll get that in there so that way anyone who's checking on the YouTube feed, they'll be able to catch that. But yeah, oh my goodness, this is yeah, like wow. Whew.
Thank you.
Yes, and that seems to be the theme. You know, I kind of push people. I got to go with the spirit. Bev know how they go. Bev, I was like, wait, pause.
Fearless leader.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, pause. I said, there's something about that grief because wait a minute, watch this, you guys. And then then we got coming up with. I see Maggie back there bouncing her head back and forth. She was so. Let me tell you, she was so into this broadcast. She wasn't even in the broadcast. She was sitting there watching it like, ooh. Like, this is really good. And I'm like, where you at? She's like, oh. She was just watching it like everybody else. So hey, like this is great stuff. But watch this. I want to take it even further. So see, wait a minute. We're gonna push this up there. Mary Kitty said she pushing me too. Her and Jesus double teaming.
Exactly. Yes.
I think, oh my God, I think I'm the push button for everybody. When we get everybody back on, we're gonna have a question. Bev, remind me about that question. Like, what's going on? A Mother's Love Never Dies Facebook group. Thank you, Yolanda. But so let me put that up there. So Yolanda said Mother's Love Never Dies Facebook group. So definitely look for that and
thank you.
But watch this. And I think this is what resonated in my spirit. Yes, that's that diva. Yes, again. So what resonated in my spirit with the grief, because I knew your story, because you already told me, I already knew about Sandy's girls, and we've been friends for years.
Yeah.
And it was like what hit me with that, because I got to file and I had to sit with it. Like, cause I couldn't even give y'all the schedule. I couldn't even figure out the order. And so I had to allow God to tell me what was the order, right? Mm-hmm. What was the order? And it was more than just grief of the grief that we think of, like, okay, the loss of someone from the past.
Right.
We're in this pandemic. We've lost some people, me included, due to COVID and not due to COVID, just because this was their time. Right. So we've lost some people in this time period. We've lost not just people, but we've lost ourselves. Bev talked about we're sitting in the house, when Jerry was talking about the learning. And we've been doing this before, but now we're forced to stay in our four walls. And so therefore we're grieving our freedom. Exactly. We're still grieving. Like, we're grieving bigger than just a life. It's your own life. It's your spirit. It's when you don't believe in you. So I got to tie in with, now I done jumped ahead. Tying with Steve was like, believing in you, right? I got to go, Bev. You know how I do. When it come, it got to go. It got to come. When Steve's talking about believing in you, you have to be able to see you in this whole thing. And then I think I saw Mary Kay, but Selena K jumped on there and said, yeah, you got to have a PhD in you. So you have to be able to see where you're at, right? Whether and that way, once you understand you, then you're able to, be able to give of yourself, right? And then you combine it takes a very giving person, right? A selfless person to be able to give their time because God always tells us we're supposed to give our what? time, talent, and treasures. Treasures is a very last thing. You're supposed to give your time and your talent first and foremost, and then your treasure. And your treasures are only 10%. Only 10%. It's only 10%, and it could be a 10% a combination. But what wind up happening, we wind up giving sometimes our 90%. Because you don't know how many times people keep telling me all these conferences that I'm doing. How many times that you guys who are joining this and who will watch this later, it's free, right? People are like, you need to be charged, and I'm like, yeah, all right, it will eventually.
Whatever God tells you to do, that's the way you go.
Exactly.
Your purpose is to put that information out there.
Put that information out there, right? So
and then it will definitely come back. It's going to come back
tenfold.
Yep, exactly.
Tenfold. And so somebody is grieving. And you fill in the blank to what your grief may be. See, but you still need to follow your dream.
Exactly.
You still need to move forward in your destiny, your purpose. Right? It's listen, I can't.
I tried that. I tried to grieve and that sense of independence and self that you have during this, before the pandemic. But God said, absolutely not. Get up. Start it. Put that podcast out there. Get those people out there. Highlight these women. Let people see who they are. And that literally, again, grieving that lack of independence. Doing the podcast during the COVID season has helped me to get over that. Gave me another sense of purpose. Gave me a chance to focus on that as opposed to what we lost during this season. So definitely.
Wow. Listen, okay. So we got I Am My Brother's Keeper says, I feel like we are kindred spirits. Losing my sister in 2018 was devastating for me. I am still discovering all the nuances of me that are blossoming. And I know she's right here cheering me on. Yes.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely.
And you just got to keep pushing every day. Don't even look back. Like I said before, sit in it, identify it, make sure you understand it's so many stages, there's no limitations.
Right.
And find something that's going to help fill that space up, that helps move you along a little bit every day.
Right. And that's
journaling, try to focus on something that's going to just push it away a little bit every day.
Just a little bit every day. My. And so, from that, I Am My Brother's Keeper. That's actually Monique. She said, so now this is, I guess, something she's birthed. Congratulations. This is on her new platform she's working on. And she just wanted to give a shout out. So congratulations to Monique. And she's giving a shout out to the ambassadors. Everyone is rocking, all the speakers. So yes. So giving a shout out for everybody. And now Wadia says, be obedient to his word and your reward is greater than money.
Yes. Amen.
We got now. That's a yes.
That's right.
That is most definitely
anything that you could get. Monetary.
Everything, and anything, and anything, and everything. So I am just so excited that you were able to be on this platform, and it stretched you.
Well, it did, and I'm grateful for the opportunity. I thank you so much. I thank you.
You're quite welcome. So, man, I'm trying to hold you. So listen, we got some more coming up. Oh, shucks. Get ready. Y'all heard that music. Hear that music, right? You know what's coming. You know what's coming when you hear that music. I am so this is sunshine. I'm trying to told you. But in the meantime, right? In between time.
Yes.
I got a special. Something special. And I want y'all to stay on so you can see this. I got something special. Oh, shucks. Let me turn that off. I got so much going on over here. Hold up. This Command Central over here. So listen, I got a special surprise before we bring up Maggie. So I want to tell you and give you this message, a special message to us all.
Hello from Australia, Vera Lee here from the Why Me.
What happened to her? Oh no. Are you kidding me? Where'd she go? I hit something.
Oh my gosh.
Not again. All right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to stop her. And we're going to come back to us for a second. We still hear music. I don't know why.
It is okay.
There it is.
All right, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to do that for right now. But listen. That's all I can say is.
That's because it's something so phenomenal that it needs another moment. You got to be done right. It's phenomenal. So you got to just phenomenal. You know what? It's phenomenal.
You got to take it in. Is that what it is?
Exactly. You got to take it in.
Yeah.
You gotta be like, okay, wait a minute.
As we get ready for Maggie, because we trying to lead up to Maggie, because I see her back there. Look at her notes. She's just like, you caught me. Yeah, I see you. Y'all can't see her backstage, but I see her. So, oh my gosh, we're gonna try this again. We're gonna try this one more again. How they say it down south? One more again.
I hear the music.
Hello from Australia. Vera Lee here from the Why Me with Vera Lee podcast series. Carolyn and I have connected very deeply over the past couple of months. She was an amazing interviewee for my series a couple of weeks ago.
We're going to do this again.
So you're all going to love it. It is very Carolyn. It is very real, very raw and honest, and very inspiring. My little word of wisdom for you today.
All right, we're going to try this one more again. Bam.
Hello from Australia. Vera Lee here from the Why Me with Vera Lee podcast series. Carolyn and I have connected very deeply over the past couple of months. She was an amazing interviewee for my series a couple of weeks ago, and I can't wait to release her episode. You're all going to love it. It is very Carolyn. It is very real, very raw and honest, and very inspiring. My little word of wisdom for you today: we are never really alone in what we're doing. And although our individual circumstances may be our own, there is always someone else there who cares for you and wants to know how to help you with what you're going through. The important thing is being able to step back for a moment from all the chaos going on inside your head, think about things from a different perspective, take a breath, slow down, and consider how and who you want to seek out to get some help and support through what you're going through. Having that safe space to be able to speak or communicate in some way, for me, that was originally through my artwork, until I was able to verbalize the things that I had been dealing with and was recovering from. There is always someone out there who cares. Carolyn and I share a passion for increasing awareness in that there is light after trauma. There is possibility. You can do this. You can get through this. And we are all here to help you. Take care.
OMG! Did y'all see that? Got a message all the way from Australia, y'all. Vera Lee, Why Me with Vera Lee, all the way from Melbourne, Australia, sent that special message to all of you. I'm just so blessed and honored to, there we go. So, but with that, I wanted to point out, because as she talked about this one, I wanted to make it, to all the survivors, to all our survivors, to all our survivors. Okay, can I get a whoop whoop to all our survivors, right? So, you guys know I'm a survivor of sexual child abuse and domestic violence. As that's been many of my volunteer, moments, and what's got me to where I'm at right now. Yolanda can attest, Jerry can attest. We've all volunteered, Deidre can attest, Maggie can attest, Steve, Bev, we've all been in this realm, right? So for those of you who may or may not know, because October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and also Breast Cancer Awareness Month. But for the survivors, and the reason why you see I have this ribbon up there that's teal and purple is because when you look back at a survivor of domestic violence, 9 times out of 10, they were abused or they were sexually assaulted. So, and I fit in both of those categories. So my film, The Good Life, as you can see, it has many awards, actually more than that at this point. But right now it's being showcased at Change Fest 2020 and Strong Chance Film Festival through the month of October. So listen, go and check it out. I'm really just trying to spread this word for us to be the voice, so that way someone else can then have their voice as well. So that's my little PSA. I'm not going to go any further into that, but I had to share that information with all of you, because if it wasn't for any of that, we wouldn't even be here doing what we're doing. So with that, this ray of sunshine, I'm just trying to told you. Maggie, are you ready, my love? Just give me some thumbs up. Just give me some thumbs up. All right. Yo. I love this. 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 The next voice you're going to hear, my dears, will be none other than the sunshine's telling us it's time, your time to shine. No matter what you've been through, no matter what grief, when you discover yourself, when you believe in you, when you give back to others, when you learn more virtually, it's time to shine, y'all.
Hello, everyone. How are you guys? Hello. I am Maggie. We're coming in from Tampa, Florida. It's amazing to be on here. Carolyn, more power to you, Mama. This technology, haven't we all been exposed to stuff that, like, God knows? I've been doing more Zooms in the past 6 months than I think I have in my entire life. So God bless technology. God bless the advancements that can just keep us all connected in this way, right? Isn't it amazing? So I hope you guys are still awake. I know it's a little late, but I wanted to just end this and just bring some really, really, really just fired up energy for you guys. This was absolutely incredible. The speakers, the the organization, the Change Fest, like Carolyn, like I'm all about it. Give me all the information you have, and just everybody talking about just, this whole foundation of just believing in yourself, right? Paying it forward. Tonight we've talked about paying it forward, being the CEO of your life, becoming a student of your life. Deidre talked about, being a diva, which I can totally relate, right? I'm the one woman in my house. We have a male dog. I have my son and I have my husband, right? And so, girl, like we got to like step into our womanhood, right? We've talked about identifying your purpose. And so, the foundation of what I coach on is self-trust and emotional resilience, right? And so tonight I want to talk about, just kind of why I'm here, what I do. I am Maggie Morrison. I'm a mindset and lifestyle coach. I work primarily with female entrepreneurs to help them manage their self-care, their family, and their business in that order without sacrificing their mental health. So us as women are doing more than we ever have in human history, right? The world is different. The world is changing very, very quickly. The world is extremely different than it was 6 months ago, right? And so us as women, we are living in a time of more abundance than there really ever has been in human history. So I want to talk about that tonight, right? I'm also the owner of Mindful Mama. We're a high vibe lifestyle brand for women who want to intentionally, on purpose, create a limitless life by design. Mindful Mama, I've owned my coaching business for 3 years now, and Mindful Mama actually came as a result of COVID. So I wanted to remind you tonight that every one of us, we are potentiality materialized. Usually when I speak, I don't take a lot of notes because I know what I'm here to do. I know. And I know that so deeply because I've been in such deep, dark places, right? We've all talked about tonight, sometimes fortunately or unfortunately, it takes something so deep, right? It takes a big change for us to think deeper about our purpose, right? It takes a big change for us to really finally be in a place in our lives where we're like, what am I here to do? What do I want to do with the time that I have here? And usually when we lose people, we're always reminded of just how fragile this time on earth is, right? And like I said, I don't take a lot of notes. I usually let God come through me because I know that I am here as a vessel to speak. I know that the women and the men, everyone here, we are vessels to speak through, right? And Carolyn called me out. I was like, I'm backstage, like, yup, like listening to everybody. Everyone's been freaking fantastic, right? This is obviously all of our like worlds, right? And when you surround yourself with people who just want more, it's infectious, right? Talk about like something that's contagious, that is good to catch. And that's momentum. That's a growth mindset. That's holding a momentum and holding a belief within yourself that what I am working to achieve is meant for me, even if I don't see the outcome that I want just yet. I know that I'm meant to do this. I know that I'm meant to serve. I know that I'm here to create a purpose, right? So a little bit about my story. I come from a long line of abuse. So my mother, and this is why, like Carolyn, I love this Change Fest that you put together. My mother was a survivor of childhood sexual abuse, which then turned into both of her husbands, now both of her ex-husbands, physically abusing her. So we grew up with a lot of physical abuse in the house, a lot of yelling, a lot of anger, a lot of really lack stories around money, really a lot of lack stories around just what's possible for you in your life, right? So when we change the story that we've been told from people who had doubts about themselves, right? So much of the time we inherit other people's doubts about themselves, right? So when we then show up in our own lives and we have our own opportunity to show up and we have our own blessings given from God, because all of us have our own journey and our own story, we are meant to take it. We are meant to say yes, even if you're afraid, even if you don't exactly know how you're going to do it just yet. I promise you, it was put in front of you because it's your destiny. It was put in front of you because the inner shifts, you're not going to see it just yet. You can look at an opportunity and say, there's nothing about that that looks like it'll work out, that looks like it's meant for me, that I'm telling you, the shifts that happen as a result of saying yes, and then as a result of sticking with it, keeping the momentum, and again, keeping a foundation of self-trust, belief, and emotional resilience, that if I have the push, this must be bigger than me. This must be bigger than what I can see just yet, right? So I know we're stretched for time. My story in a nutshell, grew up with a lot of, physical abuse in the home. I was sexually abused by my father by age 6. I had memories start to come up when I was 12, 13, 14. I told everybody about the abuse when I was 16. We go into the therapist's office. We prepare for a court date. And I wasn't 18 yet, so my mother had to come in the room for my therapist to tell us that the whole court case was dropped. This is after 6 months of me preparing to testify on a witness stand against my father at 16 years old. So the case was dropped. The next week, one of my very best friends was murdered. And 6 months after that, I was trying to work through the grief of just being let down and not having my justice, right? I think it's a big thing for survivors, especially sexual abuse survivors. I know because I can speak it. Is a big part of the healing process is having your justice, right? And a lot of the time you have to create that justice for yourself. So 6 months later, I was raped by, I don't know him. I don't remember his name. So it was a slew of things of trauma, right? Boom, boom, boom. Through the years, I worked through it. I worked on my mindset. I got into personal development to the point where 6 years ago, I got pregnant, miscarried. My fiance that I was engaged to at the time broke it off because the miscarriage, it was, a little hard for him to deal with. And so I moved to a new town, started fresh, reconnected with a man that I was absolutely in love with, one of my best friends of 5 years at that point. We dated on and off. we reconnected, and I thought, oh my gosh, God is bringing us back together. Like, this is fate. I was older. He was older. He was starting his own business. I was in management. We were both just older, right? We had a little bit more of our shit together, as much as you can think you have your stuff together at 25, right? And so I thought, this is it. This is fate. This is my love. This is why I just went through all of that, because this person was meant to be put in front of me. We talked about working things out, getting back together, connecting again. He was supposed to come down the following weekend. And 3 days later, he took his gun to his head and took his own life. And 6 weeks after that, my father passed away. And I was at a point where initially the grief was heavy. And we've talked about grief a lot tonight. And initially the grief was really heavy. And initially it was like just completely just way too much. This is too much. This is way too much for one person to have to emotionally, physically, psychologically, spiritually process, right? And so eventually I came out of it. I'm here. Because God sent me a message when I was in my teenage years. After the court case had been dropped, after I was raped, after it felt like everybody was just throwing me around like a rag doll, I was so close to giving up. I was giving up. I was a second away from making the decision. And God said, this is bigger than you. I know you can't see it just yet, but this is so much bigger than you can see right now. And if you just hold on, you might not know tomorrow. You might not know in a month. You might not even know in 10 years. But you will know why all of this happened. And when Jeff took his own life and I lost my father, years later, I was at the point where before then I was always a person who always thought, everything happens for a reason. And for the first time in my life in that moment, I thought, not everything happens for a reason. There's no reason for this, right? And I realized that maybe not everything happens for a reason, but maybe you need to create a reason for the things happening for you, not to you, but for you, right? We've talked a lot about grief tonight. We've talked a lot about the things that inevitably life can bring us, right? We can show up, we can drink all the water, we can eat all the kale, we can go to church every Sunday. But that doesn't mean that the inevitables of life aren't going to happen that are outside of our control, right? So I want to remind you that you are potentiality materialized. You are everything, and there is nothing that you cannot achieve. You are an energetic match for everything that you want, and you are only a match for what you believe is possible for you. Then the human mind kicks in. This is why I teach mindset. I start off with weight loss, and I realized I had a client who, she yo-yoed back and forth for years, tried this diet, tried that diet, tried this diet, tried that diet, tried this diet, tried that. And one day during a session, it was totally out of left field for me at the time. And I thought, what happened in your life between then when you weighed a certain amount and now when you, and it was different for me. It was left field for me at the time. But she said, well, I lost my father. And I wasn't able to deal with the grief because I had kids and the job and the this and the that. So I started emotionally eating. And visions of him come back. And I feel so guilty for this one time that I didn't tell him I loved him. I feel so guilty because the last time that we were together, I never told him I loved him. The last time that I ever saw Jeff, I dropped him off at his house. He was renting a house in the beach town that I lived in. And he got out of my car, and I thought, get out of the car and walk around and give him a kiss. And I was so nervous. And I thought, he'll be down next Saturday. I'll do it then. I have to play hard to get until then, right? And 3 days later, he was gone. And so we lived with this grief, and we lived with these guilt of really, maybe we weren't there for the people that needed us, or maybe whatever it may be, right? Whatever your source of guilt or shame or embarrassment may be, right? And what I do with women is what we find is a lot of the time when you try to do anything, you sign up for the class, you try to do this, you want to work up in your career, you want to get into a relationship after being single for so long, all these things, we all want all the things, right? And we can have this strategy. There's how-tos. We're on YouTube right now. You want to learn how to put a podcast together, look it up on YouTube, right? You want to learn how to pretty much do anything in the world right now, look it up on YouTube, right? But what I realized was, until you put your mind, until you know that you can do it, you know that you deserve the outcome that's going to come from starting that business. You want to make $1 million brand? Let's go, right? But where's the hesitation lie? Why can't you do your follow-ups? Why are you procrastinating? Why aren't you doing the things, right? Again, there's strategies all over. I can put a workbook together on anything, a training guide together, right? But if you don't believe and know that you deserve the outcome and that you can do it, and that if you fail, it's okay. We need to change the story of what failure means to us. Because in my eyes, my failures have been the best pivots. They've been the best catapults of course correcting, right? They've been the best fork in the road, and now I go the right way, the way that I'm meant to, right? And I go get back on my path, get back on the saddle, get back into the groove, right? And so, again, the human mind, your potentiality materialized. We are God's gifts to this earth. The amount of things that had to go absolutely perfect for you to be here, as beautiful as you are in your human form. We are all walking miracles with so much potential, and we are here to serve. We are here to go through these times and internalize them, not fight against them, not fight against our depression, not fight against our anxiety, not ignore these icky feelings that we feel. And one of these queens said tonight, when you face it, when you feel it, when you sit in it, and when you can really master the skill of creating your own peace amongst the chaos, you are absolutely unstoppable. That is emotional resilience. You are absolutely unstoppable. It's when the human mind kicks in, this little beautiful thing right here, and it starts to question. It needs to question things with doubt and logic, right? You have an opportunity. Everything's on the table. You might have to invest. You might have to spend some money. You might have to put some time into it. You might have to it's different. It's outside your comfort zone. You've never done it before. All of the reasons as to why you should not do it are going to come through, are going to come up. The amygdala in your brain is designed to do exactly that. Us as a society, we have evolved so quickly in our outer world. The brain still reacts chemically the exact same way that it did however many years ago to keep us alive. When a tiger is running at you, your brain kicks in to give you adrenaline so that you have the energy to run. When you're about to get on stage, when you're about to invest in yourself, when you're about to stay outside your comfort zone, when you're about to expand and do something bigger than you've never done before, your brain's going to react the same way. It's our responsibility to speak to our own safety and hold this belief that I know this nudge was for me. I know this nudge was from God. And I know that this nudge is bigger than me. It's not about me. I'm just the vessel. Right? And so you don't need to create the possibility that you can do, be, and have it all. You just need to stop disallowing it. Let me say that again. You don't need to create the possibility that you can do, be, and have it all. You just need to stop disallowing it, right? It's our humanity that rearranges our experiences of the universe, of life, of God, right? And so I want to remind you that you are potentiality materialized. We are all completely limitless. And what I've seen with COVID, and Mindful Mama was started. I've owned my coaching business for 3 years, and I trusted. I know that this is meant for me. I took a break for the past year, kind of a break, not so much of a break, but I sit back a little bit to do some internal work because I got pregnant, and my son is now 4 months old, and I'm just picking up where I left off. I didn't give up on my business. I didn't give up on my dream. I didn't give up on my story. I didn't give up on my purpose. I trusted and knew that God needed me to do this work as a mother. God needed me to do this work as the person I am now, the internal shifts that I've had because of this angel that is put in my life. That at one point I was petrified to be a mother because my mother was not a mother. I didn't know what it meant to be a mother, right? But when we believe, when your comeback time is on point, girl, and you can say yes to everything, you can say yes to every opportunity, you can say yes, and know that if it doesn't go about the way that you thought it would, you can course correct. You can always pivot. You can always adapt. You can always Hail Mary it, right? It's football season, I had to, right? So again, we've talked about belief, we talked about paying it forward, we've talked about serving, right? Serving is healing, right? When I was in the beginning of my grief process, I served, right? I became a board member of the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention because I was just at so many events. They're like, you're here a lot. You want to like do more, right? And so we heal as we heal. We heal as we heal, right? And so right now, we are all collectively grieving. We are all collectively grieving a life that we thought we would have, right? And something that I've said since day one of COVID, since things started to get a little weird, I thought, this is going to separate the men from the boys. Some people can't lose control. They freak out. That used to be me, right? Something doesn't go exactly as you need it to, and all hell breaks loose, right? And so we saw that. We've seen that with a lot of people. And I'm not undermining the virus. This has been, we've all lost someone. We lost my grandfather 2 weeks before Noah was born. And I know that he was next to me. He was next to me during labor. That's the only way we went through labor completely naturally, right? But there's also potentiality in where we're in right now. We are within those clusters, right? When I was a teenager and all like 5 horrible things happened all at once, right? And then later when I was a little older, all these horrible things happened all at once, right? The miscarriage, the engagement, the moving, Jeff's suicide, and losing my father all happened within 7 months. And so when it seems like everything is happening at once and everything is going wrong at once, I want to remind you that you don't have to have it all figured out at once. You can prioritize. You can create non-negotiables. You can create emotional boundaries. And you can trust yourself that, okay, this is where we are. Let me look at what I have to work with. The brain is designed to look at all the things that are putting you in danger. So what are we going to do when we start to lose our control? We're going to focus on all the things that we don't have. What did people do when we started going into lockdown and we're focusing on all the things that we don't have? What do you have? And this is one exercise that I do with clients is, again, we focus on what we don't have. What do you have? What strengths do you have that you are going to take into this next opportunity? You look at an opportunity and you're like, oh, I could never do that. I could never do that. I'm not qualified. Or I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not the third, right? But you are good at speaking. You are very outgoing. You have a natural glow, a natural attraction about you. You are here to share your story. So use that going in. Course correct and pivot and learn what you need to learn along the way, right? But again, we're all collectively grieving and we're all collectively raising our consciousness and our awareness. What I see that has happened through all of this is that people have, when I went through my things, I did it alone, right? A lot of the survivors here, when we go through our grief, we have some people in our lives, but it's a real internal experience. It is a real, you look yourself in the mirror, in your eyes, deeper than you ever have in your entire life. You really ask yourself, what am I here to do? And right now what we're seeing is a collective consciousness of grieving of humanity and of society. And I really think that we are all sitting within an opportunity to give up and be bitter or to stand up and get better? What do you have right now? What skills do you have right now? What interests do you have right now? I'll leave you guys with this. 50% of current Fortune 500 companies started in the last recession because people looked at the world and they saw the problems and the struggles that people were going through, and they created what the world needed. And so that's how Mindful Mama, I've had a coaching business for 3 years, and I knew that something bigger was eventually going to come through. I knew it was going to come through. And someone was talking about like downloading from God. Like I just downloaded a whole program, a whole brand new program in 20 minutes the other day because it was God. I'm just the vessel, right? But again, we're all collectively grieving. We're all raising our consciousness. And we're all in an opportunity to really, really learn and look inward. We see those of us that are used to it. And we see some people that are kind of struggling with kind of figuring out what it's like to look in the mirror. What it's really like to question, like, wow, I've kind of been hating my job this entire time and I really haven't accepted that. And I haven't like admitted it to myself, right? And I want to remind you that it's okay to make changes. You can teach an old dog new tricks. And if you guys want to follow me, I have my own Facebook group. We talk about the neuroscience behind creating a habit. There's a thing called neuroplasticity. You can rewire your brain physically. It'll physically come up on a scan. That's what meditation can do. That's what subconscious thought reprogramming can do. That's what I do with clients one-on-one, right? We rewire the story that you're telling yourself. We go back to maybe the source of grief, guilt, shame. We heal it. We forgive it. We shift from it. We change the story. And then we lay out a blueprint for the future. If I designed my life on purpose, if I actually sat down with a pen and paper and I asked myself, okay, what do I want without limits? If time wasn't a thing, if money wasn't a thing, if his or her or your opinion was not a thing, how would I then show up in my life? Would I ask for more? Would I accept more? Would I let myself receive a life that is limitless? Would I help myself receive a love that is limitless? Right? As I sit here with this baby that I never thought I would ever have. Today is the year anniversary of my engagement to the love of my life, who I never thought that I would ever have the strength to accept after losing Jeff, after being raped, after being trespassed against by so many men, right? But we heal, we shift the story. I knew that love was meant for me. I know that $1 million brand is meant for me. I know my work in the world because I've been through so much that at one point in my life, I was like, God, like, I'm not laughing. If you're laughing, I don't think any of this is funny at this point. Like, right? But God gives the biggest struggles to the strongest warriors because we are here to not just experience it, but to internalize it and change the world. So, love you, Carolyn. Sorry, I went over.
Yes.
I'm like, Carolyn, you
No, you are perfectly fine, my love. Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Oh my gosh, Bev.
I think my eyes popped out of my head a few times. And then I just felt though she was talking directly to me, at me, under me, over me. Like she just surrounded everything on me and was like, look, Bev, let me tell you something right here, right now. This is what you're going to do. This is how it's going to be. Because I felt like she was just talking to me. Because you know my story, Carolyn. And I'm still sitting here and I still haven't finished what I was supposed to do. Okay. So I'm like, I need some extra push from like 5,000 women over here, just
but that's
everything that I do.
But we're living in such a time where women are standing up. We're standing up more than we ever have in human history. And we have more influence. People are watching. People are watching and people are listening and they want the help. Right now, we're in such a time. I've been a coach for over 3 years. And something that I've seen was that's a little disheartening sometimes, is that not a lot of people want to heal They don't know that it's safe to heal. They're actually safe within their chaos because that's their normal, right? And so what we see right now, we are living within a time where there's so much potential to heal and help and expand and connect because people are more open than ever. That's how Mindful Mama was created. People are more open than ever to heal, to do the inner work, to look in the mirror, to take supplements, to eat better, to take care of themselves, to boost their immune system, to like, do I hate my job or do I love it? Let me ask myself. And if I hate it, let's make some changes because life is short, right? So we're living in a really, 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 really special time. There's a lot of words for it, but we're living in a really special time where it's, you know, it's time to heal. We are all raising the consciousness of humanity right now. We're all changing, and it's collective, which I think is really, really beautiful. You know, when I went through a lot of my stuff, there were so many nights where I felt completely alone in life, right? And I think that there's a really special thing happening right now where we are all collectively grieving to an extent, right? We're all collectively grieving a life that we thought we would have, right? I was quarantined the first week in February because it was the first week of my third trimester of pregnancy. And my doctor was like, I don't know what's going on. There's this virus going around. It seems kind of nasty. We don't really know that much about it, but just stay home because you're immune compromised, right? The next month, everybody was in quarantine. And now Noah is 4 months old, right? So what I've seen is just so many people just, again, being open to expanding and just really asking themselves, what do I want to do with my time here? You know, because the time is short. What kind of a mother do I want to be? How do I want to run my businesses? How do I want to show up? How do I want to, you know, but again, us as women, especially now with homeschooling, are doing more than we ever have in human history. So again, managing our mindset, managing our mental health, and really prioritizing that first and knowing that we can manage all of it. And it can seem overwhelming, but we can manage our self-care first and foremost. We can manage our families and we can manage our businesses with ease and grace and trust. I know that my track record for getting pushed into some and picking myself back up is 100%. Everybody here, their track record is 100%. If you are watching this, your track record for surviving is 100%. So use that, right? There were times recently where I thought, you know what? I am petrified of the future, but I've been through worse. I got this. And it's, again, that's what I do with women is really laying this foundation. I see a lot of women signing up for courses or trying to do a diet or just trying to do, you know, really anything. And they can't stay consistent. They can't keep their vision. They can't hold the momentum, right? Again, I have this program called Master Your Momentum.
Maggie's in my house.
And it really is. You gotta build that trust first. You gotta build.
Yeah, I know, right? Maggie's everywhere. Maggie, you don't understand. You got this. Look, you got people like Deidre's backstage saying, yes, thank you, Maggie. Absolutely. Jerry saying, yo, she spoke the truth. And like comments that are coming in are saying like, you know, Denise Sauer said, wow, the Lord really used you to confirm things for me. Thank you, Maggie. Like Lisa broke down and said, you know, we as women, we should model self-love and celebrate ourselves. Well said, Maggie. So, I mean, like, I can't even catch up with everything that I mean, they was like spitting it out, you know, peace within chaos. And, you know, we heal as we heal. And I mean, it was like, you was dropping a whole bunch of nuggets. Like, you deserve the outcome, you know. Oh, my favorite one was being unstoppable because that's like one of my mottos, like unstoppable. Oh, wait a minute, here we go. Can't teach. Watch me. Like teach. You can only control you. So I'm like, wow. But Maggie, thank you. You know what? You know, everything is in God's time. So don't apologize for being over. Whatever. We doing what we're supposed to do. We're here to serve. We getting this info out. You know, we got to do what we have to do, right? We have to be present. We have to be ever so ready. And no matter what happens, whatever technical issues may or may not happen, like my thing is right now, this isn't the time of it's okay. Like, it's okay. Like, it doesn't have to be pitch perfect, you know. And I am learning that because Bev knows. Bev, don't be shaking your head at me. You know me. Like, yeah, because I will go into all kinds of like spastic stuff. So that's a whole nother issue. But
I feel like we can all
I'm
go on here and talk. We should
doing
start,
well.
like,
I'm doing real well. I'm doing real well. Chantel
we
says
should make our own
fantastic.
show. Like,
I know, right?
we can all talk
Fantastic from
forever.
everyone on the forum. Wadia, she says, what an amazing journey. I know. It's like the journeys from all of us have, everyone has a story. My whole thing is no one is storyless. So, you know, with that, you know, Maggie, you just stay right there. Like, you're like flipping awesome sauce. Like, okay, my computer just did something. I don't know what it did. Okay, no, stop.
You
Okay,
still
okay.
here.
I see. I'm getting excited. I'm still
We
here.
got
Long as
time.
I'm still here. Long as I'm still
You're
here.
still here.
I'm
You're
okay.
here.
I'm all right. I'm still here.
Absolutely.
So I'm long as I'm still here. That's thank you, Jesus. As long as I'm still here. Yes. We going okay. So what happened? Oh, that's what happened.
Hit a button.
I need for everyone to be here. I know I'm hitting buttons. I'm just button hitting. I'm button hitting. Okay, I need us all on here. So you know, listen. I'm gonna push the button. Stop fussing at me when we're live, woman. That's what we could do. We could do that. We sister girls. We sisters. So listen, what a journey. I mean, and I want to. Oh, what was somebody? Keep shining, ladies. Thank you, Chantel. Oh my gosh. Wait a minute. I have to find this one comment, and this actually goes for everybody. Whoa. It was way back. I gotta find it. Okay, I'll find it. But it was really dope. I didn't want to miss it because it was really profound. And it was actually a crossover from Deidre. So I wanted to make sure that from Jennifer Hart. Jennifer Hart said something. Okay. How about this? If you can dream, we're gonna bring everybody to the stage. Y'all ready, you guys? We're gonna bring everybody back to the stage. Calling everybody back to the stage. Okay, I'm just want to make sure we all here.
Well, man, I'll be in touch with you.
All right.
We got to talk.
My
Whatever.
Facebook group, we're
Whatever. I'm just
Mama
having fun hitting buttons. That's all. The Mindful Mama movement. Love it. So just follow me and magnify your and you guys follow me and everybody else follow everybody else too. So listen. We got Bev Brooks from WBNC. Yes, clap it up. We have Maggie Morrison from golly, she got so many different things. Tell them where you from.
Well, I'm from Tampa.
Maggie.
Does that count?
Maggie, can she hear me?
Yeah, she can hear you.
Okay. I'm from Tampa. Okay, I'm trying to take your thing. Okay, because it got quiet. I'm stuck. I'm trying to figure out why am I stuck. I'm trying to get your name off, but I can't get your name off. I don't know why.
We don't see that. I see Maggie.
I'm trying to add everybody back. Okay.
Well, Maggie, let's talk. You know, why she handles all of that. Because I don't know what's going on over there. Me and you was just fine, you know.
Oh, we're gonna get
so back to so we had I don't know what's going on, Deidre. We want to bring Deidre back to the stage. Deidre, I think. I'm trying to bring Deidre back I'm stuck. I'm trying to figure out why am I stuck. You can hear me talk to you saying that I'm stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can hear you perfectly.
Did y'all hear me say that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We hear you saying everything.
Everybody backstage, can you hear me? Thumbs up. Y'all ready? Y'all heard everything. Okay. There's Deidre. Okay, Deidre's here. Hey, Dee. Oh, jeez, oh, Pete. What is going on here? All right, I'm trying to hide Maggie's name, but okay, so we got Deidre. There we go. Ha. And now we're gonna bring back Jerry. Whoop, 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 whoop. Jerry.
Yep. Hey.
Jerry. All right. Hey. And we are going to, okay, here we go. That looks a little better. And we're going to bring back Mr. Legacy. Oh, Yolanda. We're going to bring back Yolanda. Yes.
Yes.
Now, this is the test.
Yeah, this is the test.
This is
I might
ladies'
drop.
night. And we're now this is the test. Mr. Steve, you ready? We're going to see if I can bring you on to the stream or not. I'm not sure. This is the test.
Here we go.
There you
Bam!
Yeah.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. I'm just trying to listen, you guys. Listen, we are. I had. Listen. I don't know. Let me see if we can add this. This was from a couple years ago. I don't need us to rock off of this. I don't know if we can do all of this with all of us on here, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see if we can do this with everybody on here.
Now, if everybody drop, it's not my fault.
You hear her? Not my fault. Well, we can hear her, right?
Yes.
Can you hear her? Okay. That's Miss Naya. I'm gonna come off so y'all can.
Now, see, she done came off. I gotta sit here and talk to her. How y'all doing? She done did something. Okay, there she goes.
Okay, there it is.
More power to her. I would not be able to figure any of this.
Okay, but now we don't have no sound for it.
Okay, apparently I gotta be here. So this is what we would have been missing if we was actually in a place, y'all. Like the energy. Oh, yes. She's 15. Wow. She's 15. Y'all. Look at that confidence. I don't know who I am with that. Listen, when I heard this song, y'all, right? This song is about a relationship. See, but I'm gonna tell you what the relationship that I heard when I heard this song, right? On days like this, I do. Tell me you love me on days like this. You know, when we're feeling like we need someone, right? On days like this, right? Oh my God, when we're going through this grief, when we feel like we don't believe in ourselves, when we can't give of ourselves, right? Right. Oh man, like this is the best we can do, y'all. Oh, y'all got to see this part, Bev. I got to remove you for a minute so they can see this.
Okay.
She's not clear. I don't know why. This is Naya, the artist. I don't know what just happened and why she came off. Just follow her. She's now in Exodus. Follow her on Instagram. I'll show you. All right, you guys. Listen, this was so stinking dope to have everybody on here. Oh, wait a minute. Everything I need, right?
Yeah.
It's right in front of all of y'all, right? Yeah, we gonna be all right, y'all. We gonna be all right. We gonna be all right.
Mhm.
Yes, yes. Yeah, okay, so Steve, we got the wandering going on. You've been working it out. You've been taking our pictures. We all got cheese for him.
I got real quick.
With how you gonna do that so that way you can be on it too? Oh, okay. All right. Ready? Tell us when.
All right, right now. 3, 2, 1. I'll send it to y'all.
And you gotta do it when you're looking in the screen. You just
Okay.
gonna have to know what to push around. Because you're not, we just saw the back of your head, Steve.
It was his face. He was turned around. He's
Your
in
face
the corner.
turned around,
Yeah.
Steve.
I'm looking at the picture.
He's looking in the camera.
You're looking in the picture?
Yeah.
Carolyn.
I'll send it to you.
Okay. All right. Okay. Listen,
She
you
has
guys.
glasses on, y'all. She has glasses on. Mhm.
How do you do it?
How did he do it? He did it. That's dope. So listen, man, we got Maggie. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from Tampa, Florida. Woo! Yes. So happy that you were able to join us. And I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.
Hey, thank
And
you.
this has been so
Yeah.
And to connect with all of you, it's just us survivors gotta stick together. We
Yes,
gotta tell
yeah.
everybody else. We gotta teach everybody else. Like you guys, you can survive too. It's possible. And we are living proof.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my God. So thank you so much. You can stay backstage, and then when we in the broadcast, we can all come back if you want. But I'm about to take you off, so I'm going to do everybody one by one. So thank you, Maggie.
Thank you guys.
All right. Thank you. That was Maggie all the way from Tampa, Florida. Now we got my ambassador. Yes. I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to go with this, even though I'm not going in the order. No. I got to do Deidre. Deidre, man. Yo. Woo. Representing all the way from Philly. Although she's AKA Nevada, because for somehow I had her in the program under Nevada.
Yes, the sister.
I'm glad you were stretched, my love.
Thank you.
We are sisters indeed. Thank you so much for representing.
And thank you for thank you for.
And I know Sandy is uberly proud of you.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome.
Yeah,
You're quite welcome.
Quite an honor.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. So everyone, tell everybody how, and Maggie, forgot to ask Maggie how everybody can get in touch with her. You want to let me bring Maggie. Okay, tell everybody how they can get in touch with you, Deidre.
I am on Facebook at Sippin' without the G, Sippin' Tea with D. I am on Instagram as Sippin' Tea with D, again without the G. I can also be reached at A Mother's Love Never Dies, which is a private group on Facebook for those who have lost their mothers. And my website is www.sippin', again without the G, T with D-E-E. Okay. Oh, one more, anchor.fm or any platform in which you get your podcasts. Sippin' Tea with D every Wednesday at 7 p.m.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Deidre. Hang out backstage for a little bit. All right, you're quite welcome. All right, and as promised, I got to bring Maggie back because I didn't ask you that last question. Where can everyone reach you from? Wait a minute, where's she at? She's somewhere.
She right there.
There she go. Hey, Maggie.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
You can? Okay, cool. Okay, well, so my brand is Mindful Mama. So our business page is Mindful Mama on Facebook. we have the private group called the Mindful Mama Movement, where I do a lot of coaching, a lot of mindset trainings like this. Carolyn's in that group, you know. Honey, that keeping that under 20 minutes was one of the hardest things I've done in a long time. So the group is the Mindful Mama Movement. We are on Instagram as well under Mindful Mama _life. And you can catch all of our information, all of our links to any courses and programs that we have at themamalife.com.
Awesome. Thank you, Maggie. I had to give that offer to you as well. Thank you, love. All right, now back now to the stage. We want to thank you to my ambassador, Miss Jerry, all the way from the Hotlanta.
All right.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you so much, Carolyn, for inviting me to do this. You always push. And yeah, you're always stretching, always. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Go look, forgot to mention I was a Temple graduate. Had to put that plug in there. So yeah, I can be reached on Facebook.
Atlanta by way of Philly.
Yeah, Atlanta by way of Philly. Also came down here and got a Southern education, got another master's in special education. So I can see the world from both spectrums, north and southern. Okay.
How can everybody get in touch with you, Jerry?
Yeah, you can reach me on Facebook under Jerry, Gerri, Savage, SAVAGE -Aldridge, and that's ALDRIDGE. I'm also on Instagram under The Real Jerry. The Real Jerry.
Okay, the real one, not the fake one, but the real one.
Not the, right. And all my information is on that last page. The last page of that presentation.
Yes, and everyone who signed up will get a copy of that last page because you have an offer for them. So absolutely. Right. So listen, Jerry, one of my amazing ambassadors, yes, and co-authors, yes.
Right. So, I didn't mention all those. Right.
I know, but that's okay. But I just threw you under the bus. That's okay. That's all right.
Okay. All right.
But I love you. Thank you so much.
Love you more.
It's such an honor to allow you to have this platform.
I know. And I'll see you in Philly October 14th through the 21st.
Okay. Can't wait. Yes. Let's get together. All right. Thank you so much, Jerry. All right, hang out backstage. All right, now so we're talking about ambassadors. Woo! Wait, this one right here. Miss Yolanda Jennings.
What's up? This was a wonderful experience. I have to get used to this live. I'm thankful for the experience. I learned so much from the other speakers, and I thank you for always providing the opportunity. And I can be reached at Yolanda Jennings on Facebook, Yolanda M. Jennings on Instagram. I'm also, you could please go to follow Purple House Project PA. And I'm the director of PR for that organization.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. You listen. You know how we do, Yolanda. Thank you. One of my other amazing ambassadors.
Yes.
Like, listen, watch out for her. Y'all gonna know her name real right soon. Watch. She's gonna take Philly by storm by way of Ohio.
Yes.
All right. Oh man, thank you, Yolanda. Love you. And oh man, see how I gotta do bookends, right? See, Steve. He's, you know, his name is a legacy for a reason, right? Because he's creating legacies, right? The legacy. He even got it on his tag, the legacy. See, but here's the thing. See, you know, I had your first, right? But you know, your first, you know, the first is last and the last becomes first, right? Here we go. And so, you know what, as queens, right? Because queens are always in the building, right? Queens are always in the building, but we always got to pay homage to our kings. So therefore, we have to allow our kings to lead. So that's why I had to have you lead us this evening.
No, I appreciate that. Get the energy rolling. You know, it's so weird. I don't know how to sit still. So me being in this, man, I'm like trying to keep my composure. I was talking to Maria. I was like, yo, I got so much dopamine built up. But it's been a great experience. And I really appreciate the opportunity because we all need this, especially more now than ever, because this is COVID or something, but it's still moving, you know. I'm used to interacting with people, like looking for facial expressions and laughter and all this stuff, but you still got to be able to adapt. And that's one thing I like about us as people, that no matter what's thrown at us, we're able to adapt. That's the human race, period. We've been doing that for as long as, you know, humans been on this earth, you know. So I'm glad that we're able to do that. Thanks again for this opportunity. Man, but I'm about to see what I'm gonna do with this energy after I'm finished with this stuff.
Go run around the block.
I'm about to go.
Well, listen. Well, give us a shout out. What are we supposed to do? You supposed to get your owner? What are we supposed to do? Go ahead, yell it out.
But like I always say, do not roll out the bed. I need you to jump out the bed. And that's for this tomorrow morning. I want you to jump out the bed. No more rolling out the bed. It's time for that jump up. And if you want to reach out to me, I'm at Facebook, Steve the Legacy, or Facebook.com/Steve the Legacy. On Instagram, Steve the Legacy too as well. See, Carolyn, that's how I got to get things moving. If I talk fast, talk energetic, I get the energy out like that.
Woo! I knew that. That's why
I knew that. Yeah. But thanks again.
I knew that.
Yeah. And thanks for letting me go first, because, you know, we have to get that thing pumped up, you know, ready to go. You know how we get down? We both fireballs. You know how to do it. Come on, man. How we doing? Man.
Oh man, well, thank you as always, Myopic. Yes, I love it. Always, Mr. Brandman, continuing to keep your legacy going. You know, yo, check them out. Always follow. Hey, this one right here, that's another one to look after. I'm trying to told you. Like, I know some people. God has blessed me with some amazing people in my life. So thank you for being one of them. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you for that.
All right, hang tight. And you know what? I can't do nothing without Storm herself, right? Look at Storm. Ain't she beautiful, y'all? Look at Storm. I was kind of looking like Storm earlier today. Did you see the picture I posted looking like Shaka Khan and a cross between Shaka Khan and Diana Ross?
It was okay.
It was my hair was like out the hair. Man, I had to tame that thing real right quick.
But it's all right. It's all right though.
Bev.
You just
It's all on you, bro.
okay. I'm gonna do it like I'm on WBNC. Hey, it's your girl Bev Brooks, and I'm right here with Carolyn Wilson, and we're doing what we do, how we do it all the time, with all the inspiration, all the love, all the encouragement, all the motivation, everything that you can possibly think of that God has gifted her with. So I'd like to thank y'all this evening for tuning in with us with the fabulous 5 people we had on here, and I'll tell you the amazing things that have been said, that have been gifted, because it was a gift that was given to everybody on here. So I hope y'all took it, embraced it, and say, okay, we're going to walk out on faith and we're going to do this. Like Steve said, we're going to jump up out of the bed tomorrow morning and we're going to walk this path of our whole plethora of things that we're going to be doing in life. So it's your girl, Bev Brooks. I'm originally on WBNC Breaking Chains Radio every Fridays from 7 to 10 p.m. The owner, CEO of WBNC. You can find us at www.wbncradio.net. Magnify, mismagnify yourself. You got it, girl.
All right. Thank you, Bev. Thank you. How you say thank you. Peace. Oh, am I like blessed to have like some dope folks, right, in my circle, right? Thank you, Lord. Like you knew what I needed and who I needed, and what everyone who's watching and still watching, thank you for hanging on. Time, we try to keep everything within time constraint, but you know what? Who were we? Who were we when we're on God's time, right? So the message is clear. The message was out there for someone that needed this. And this should say, it doesn't say it very clearly, but I just want to thank you, everybody. I'm going to just turn it off because it looks annoying. So I just want okay. I took myself off again. Sorry, y'all. So I just want to thank everybody for spending time and joining us this evening. This has been just a labor of love, clearly. This is literally, part 3.5. The conference would have been in June, live, but of course, everything had to stop. And, everything that we've heard today, it's literally been go for, just adapt, as Steve said, to adapt, right? And that's what I did. So as everyone was canceling their events, now granted, now you see a lot of more virtual events, but I'm gonna tell you, I've been doing this since day one. As soon as the door shut down, I went virtual. Now, of course, snafus, hiccups, it's okay, but adapt, and we're going to do this thing anyway. And this is just, I figure, you know what, let's just celebrate all year, and that way I get to celebrate all year and have this platform available for individuals that'll be able to share their truths, to share what they have to share with everybody, to get us to, it's virtually you. We're in a virtual environment right now, right? So how are you going to position yourself when this is all said and done? How are you positioning yourself right now? Are you believing in you, right? Or are you doing something that you can do virtually, or if not, volunteer within yourself, find something for yourself. Jerry gave us some tools that we can learn some things. Even you spending time on here, guess what? You're building and putting into you, right? Oh my goodness. And then, this is the power, and we're all grieving something, right? And so and you still birth your passion. You could still follow your dreams in all of that. And as Maggie said, listen, it's time to shine. It's your time to shine. And that's literally all I have. And I always tell you guys 1 or 3 things before I close this thing out. And we will be like literally 3 hours. And okay, it is what it is, right? I want you to do 1 or 3 things. I want you to be empowered. I want you to be inspired. And most importantly, I truly want you to be magnified. So I can't tell you anything other than thank you, and thank you. Have a wonderful evening. Be well, and listen. Don't let more time go by without you doing something to add to you. All right, you guys, take care. Be blessed. And I'm trying to see why I can't add. Oh, I know why. All right. Take care, everybody. Good night. I think. Trying to clip this all smooth, but it ain't working. See y'all. All right.